Family, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in the building.
Hallelujah.
Y'all already see who's sitting at the right of me. My brother, my big brother, Malachi Maccabee. Peace to the God. How you feeling today, brother?
Man, feeling good. You know, man, good to be in the land of the living. As long as we above ground, we winning.
All praises, all praises. Y'all climb on in. Y'all climb on in. We wait till y'all climb on in. We're going to get everything started. Y'all see what we got on the board today. We talking about conflict and contradictions within the Bible / Torah / Pentateuch, Tanakh, whatever everybody want to, call it. Let's talk about it. We finna bring some things out today. Again, this is not to, get anybody out of the faith. This is not to, make fun of the Bible or nothing like that. We are here for knowledge and for spiritual growth, you know what I'm saying? And we really doing this and coming forth with all this information to show that we have been serving two gods. We have been mingling two gods. We've been mingling the God of death with the God of life. And, according to the pure Torah of Moses, we can't do that. According to the pure Torah of Moses, you can't serve two masters. So that's the reason why we bringing these things out. You got anything to say, Malachi Maccabee?
Yeah, no doubt. And all this is leading up to like the origin of your sacrifices. It's a lot of mealy mouth Negroes that's mad right now, and they're holding on to a dead Levitical priesthood. You know what I mean? And mad because of what we brought out last Thursday and how it's obvious conflict between the prophets, right, and what we call the priests. You got prophets saying the Most High never spoke to our fathers, nor commanded them in the day when we left Egypt concerning burnt offerings and sacrifice. But we got a law of sacrifice and burnt offerings, right? Then you're in that day. Well, okay, when we left Egypt, that was a major sacrifice according to what we read in Exodus. So what we point out is conflict. And the whole reason we point that out is because if you're not killing the flesh, you know what I mean, then you're definitely not eating the flesh.
Facts.
That's the whole point, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people think that, we saying put the Bible down and all that. No, we saying if you want to really deal with the true teachings of Moses or the true Torah that the Messiah came to restore to the people, then you must teach life out of the scriptures. You know what I mean? Not death. Look, even Moses said it though.
Yeah,
Did he say, I lay before you two paths, life and death.
Facts.
Choose life that you may live, right? Now, a lot of our people don't understand this, that in that life and in that death, there's also a life diet and a death diet.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it's wild though, over the last week, a few Negroes lined up, called themselves firing at us, but to none avail.
Yeah.
All y'all missed, you know what I mean? And the whole point was this, like, we wasn't done. We not done bringing out everything. At least wait till we done, you know what I mean? Because this research we doing, we're going in. Like, what we talking about is what they talking about at Yale, Cambridge, Oxford. We gonna show y'all some of it today. And even after today, we still ain't done. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is to show the conflict. Why show the conflict? Because it's like this. If you're not sacrificing the flesh, then guess what you're not doing? You're not eating the flesh. The Dietary Laws, Genesis 1:29. The fruits and the grains of the earth. Not just for man, but even for the animals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the dietary law. That's what the Most High ordained. What you got in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, you know what I mean, is not a law. Because if it was, trip off this, I know some of y'all spilled your coffee, but if it was a law, then it would be a sin not to eat flesh.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You don't have to eat flesh, and that's the whole point. And especially in these last days, right?
Yeah.
We got in the prophecy where it's saying in the last days, knowledge is going to increase.
Facts.
Right? Today, you can look down into the cell of any organism. You can study the blood and what's the pH levels and all that?
Yeah, the pH level of the blood is a 7.45.
You can actually do that today because knowledge has increased. You understand? So even if you see things happening back in the day among certain forefathers, even the Messiah told the disciples this, many prophets and wise men have desired to see the things that you see, but have not seen them.
Yeah.
How much more in this day when knowledge has increased? You know what I mean? So the whole thing, we've been telling people to live life and live abundantly and stop putting the things down your throat that destroy you. And you'd have thought we was telling people to go become homosexuals or something.
Yeah, we straight telling y'all, we telling y'all to live. And, when you deal with the fact of the matter, the meat is the flesh is killing us at alarming rates. It's killing us very, very fast. And, we've been dealing with two two Torahs here. We've been dealing with two laws here. We've been dealing with the law of life and the law of death. And, you know, once we came into the knowledge of this, we would be fools and we would be sinning if we didn't bring this forth. We just want our people to live. That's it. So we ain't gonna pay attention to the comment board today until we done. So you know, if anybody got the axe in here and y'all see anybody stirring up any issues, just go on and block them, because the message got to go forth. So we finna bring everything forth. Then at the end of the presentation, then we will open up the phone line. So let's just get straight to it. If y'all can see the screen and if y'all can hear us good, type in some nines real quick. Let's do that first. If y'all can see the screen real good, y'all can see us. And if y'all can hear us good, type in some nines and we'll get everything started.
Absolutely. And look, this right here is from an academic standpoint. You know what I mean? Again, professors and all them at Yale, you know what I mean, Oxford, Cambridge. So this is from an academic standpoint. Then you got scripture standpoint where you can respond and do all that as well. You know what I mean? But this is academic. Y'all do know there are people who whole careers are based on studying your records, going into history, exegesis and all that, biblical texts, criticisms and all that. You know what I mean? So we gonna bring it out to show that, because we teach, you know what I mean, keep that flesh out your mouth, that lick out your mouth, and that smoke out your lungs, so you can live. So this whole vessel could be totally dedicated to the Almighty. You know what I mean? That's what we teach, and we gonna keep teaching it. Regardless of whoever get mad, that's just what it is. We love you enough to see you alive.
Facts.
And breathing. You know what I mean?
There it is.
All right, so what we got going on first?
All right, so we're going to start this. I want to start this off showing the lion pen of the scribes. I want to read this first, and then we're going to get into some other versions and everything of it, because, you know, people be like, they use the breakdown that we used to use and that we used to that we didn't taught for real. They use that breakdown and saying, well, the people were sinning, so it was like the prophets were scribing in vain because the words that they wrote didn't amount to nothing because Israel was sinning. And it's like, no, when you read this for what it is and you read it inside of its context, he was saying that the pen of the scribes, they dealt with it falsely, and they wrote lies and they twisted lies and they wrote lies into the Torah. That's what it says. So we're gonna read this first, and then we're gonna look at some other versions and see what it say as well.
Hey, and just to say this real quick, that make all the sense in the world, because one of the Messiah's chief enemies were the scribes.
Facts.
Not just the Pharisees and Sadducees, but they're scribes.
Facts.
And scribes are in charge of writing down the precepts of what we call the laws of Moses and all that, and the interpretation.
Yes, and the interpretation thereof.
That's right. Jeremiah 8:8. How do ye say we are wise, and the law of the Most High is with us? Lo, certainly in vain made he it.
Ooh-wee.
The pen of the scribes is in vain.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is, because y'all done heard us break this down millions of times, right, in the past. So we just gonna let the other Bibles and everything, it's called comparing text. So we're gonna let the comparing text speak for itself. So we're gonna click on here real quick, and let's compare the text. Let's just compare it real quick. So let's go to Bibles. Now let's read. We're gonna read every different version, and let's see what every different version say.
This right here, okay, we just did the KJV, right? This right here is the NKJV. How can you say we are wise and the law of the Most High is with us? Look, the false pen of the scribe certainly works falsehood. So
this shows you what it's saying. The false pen. If your pen that you're writing with is false, that means your pen that you're writing with is a lie. And it says certainly work falsehood. So the pen is a false pen, and that false pen is working falsehood. Well, what did the scribes create? What did the scribe was writing? They was getting words, and then they wrote it down and interpreted what the prophet said to them, what priest said to them, and then they scribed it into what today you would call your Torah, or what you would call your law. So what was they dealing with? The laws. What was they dealing with? The prophecies being written, interpreting them inside of the law. And it says it was a false pen that they was using, and they worked it in falsehood. But look, if y'all saying that that's not saying that, let's read another version.
The New and Living Translation. How can you say we are wise because we have the word of the Most High, when your teachers have twisted it by writing lies?
Let's read that one more time, Ellie.
How can you say we are wise because we have the word of the Heavenly Father, when your teachers,
who?
Your teachers,
come on,
have twisted it by writing lies.
That is clear as day. When your teachers have twisted it by writing lies. And if y'all really get into Jeremiah, he was one of the ones, he was one of the Nabis, the Nabiums, or one of the prophets that was going hard when it went going against sacrifices and going against eating flesh, because the Most High was dealing with him personally, and a lot of other prophets too, was going against the grain. You got a few prophets here and there where you see they got sacrifice in there, but when you read like Ezekiel, for example, he have sacrifices inside of his writings, inside of his sayings, but in the same within the same chapter it contradicts itself, because he go right back to a plant-based diet. You know what I'm saying? And look, we have answers for all of that if y'all just be patient with us and go through this whole presentation with y'all. I'm pretty sure that this gonna blow y'all mind, because it blew ours. So we see that that Jeremiah is stating that the false pens of the scribes was twisting teachings and writing lies in our Torah.
Yeah, and then the crazy part is this has to come into play sometime in history.
Yeah,
Jeremiah is a prophet. He prophesies. So this would have to come into play. He was a prophet that prophesied right before Jerusalem fell to Babylon.
Facts. You
know what I mean?
Ooh.
So, all right, well, when we fell to Babylon, y'all do know that what we call the Torah that Moses wrote, that was burnt.
It was burnt.
It was burnt. According to 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter and the 21st verse, thy law is burnt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, so what you have now is a refining of a Torah or written work coming out of ancient Babylon.
Facts.
You know what I mean? What you got attributed to Moses, what Moses wrote down initially was burnt.
Yeah.
According to 2nd Ezra 14 and 21, the law was burnt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then Ezra gets the Holy Spirit and he starts writing again, right? But down in 2nd Ezra 14:44, he wrote 204 books.
That's right.
What am it? There's only 5 books of your Torah. Well, you'll say, well, no, that mean, it's 204 chapters in the Torah. No, it ain't. It's 187.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's 204 verses. No, it ain't. It's well over 1,000. You know what I mean? Then he told him to hide 70. So you take 204 minus 70 and you get 134 books.
Boy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't even, look, if you got the KJV with the Apocrypha, that's only 80 books.
Yeah. So something ain't adding up
That's
here.
right.
Everything we finna show and present today is proving that. Now look, let's just read the rest of these and then we're gonna get straight to the presentation.
Okay, how can you say we are wise, NIV? How can you say we are wise, for we have the law of the Most High, when actually the lying pen of the scribes has handled it falsely? They've handled the law of the Most High falsely.
So we see, look, every version we go to say the same exact thing, that the lying pens of the scribe dealt with the word falsely, dealt with the law falsely, and wrote lies into it. They tampered with it. You know what I'm saying? We not saying that. This is what Jeremiah saying, and with all the evidence that we're bringing forth today and everything that we brought forth last time said the same exact thing. All the evidence conclude that our scriptures have been in fact tampered with. I know y'all don't like that word, but look, that is what's been happening. So let's just keep reading. Let's read these last two.
ESV, how can you say we are wise and the law of the Most High is with us? Hatawara.
Yeah, hatawara is what they say.
Speaking that pig Latin out here, man. And the law of the Most High is with us. But behold, the lying pen of the scribes has made it into a lie.
Ooh, there it go again. Let's do one more.
CSB, how can you claim we are wise? The law of the Most High is with us. In fact, the lying pen of the scribes has produced falsehood.
So look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 so far that look been concluding and is agreeing with everything that me and bruh been bringing out. And look, we didn't create this, we didn't make this up. This is in the very scriptures, and we finna show you, because you're gonna read once we show you this whole presentation. What y'all gonna realize is you're gonna see a whole bunch of contradictions, y'all. And it's like, okay, if we didn't put that in there, you know what I'm saying, and we just bringing it out, why everybody mad at us? Because we didn't write these contradictions in here. This stuff been written down for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Right. So why y'all mad at Yaki and Malachi Maccabee, boy?
Right.
So look, let's get straight to the presentation. And then at the end, like I said, at the end of the presentation, we open up the phone lines, and we'll even answer some questions on the comment board. All we ask for y'all is y'all to be patient and y'all to bear with us while we get through there. We don't need none of y'all questions right now because we ain't answering them. So it ain't no part of y'all blowing up the whole comment board because we ain't gonna even answer them. So we letting y'all know that right now. Look, hear the whole matter, and then we can talk when we done. All right, so let's share this screen one more time and let's get straight to it, because here it go. Here it go. All right, let's get straight to it. All right. Blow this deal on up. All right, so look, check it out. Here we go. So, conflict and contradictions of our biblical text. Now, check this out, y'all. What we're gonna do is I want to start this off with the creation story. You know, because this blew my mind, and I'm pretty sure it'll blow a lot of y'all minds too. So what I got here is the creation story. Now, what you're going to look at and what you're seeing around here with my marker at, you're seeing Elohim and you're seeing Yahweh, right? Because there's a difference in what they call God in each different individual source or chapter. We're not the only people saying this. We've been peeped it, but now we have scholars, theologians. We have a lot of different people, academics, that are talking about this thing. In fact, when you go to school for to be a theologian or to be a chaplain or to be anything that's dealing with the scripture, whether you're going to be teaching them from a pastor or a minister perspective, or whether you're going to be teaching it from a straight educational academic perspective, you have to learn these things at school. We just ain't been in school for it. So this is not just taught by Malachi, Maccabee, and Yaqui. This is actually taught in all of your major universities. This is taught on a worldwide level, y'all. It's just now finally bringing it down to us. It's something called textual criticisms, where you got professors that sit around with a magnifying glass and read through the Torah and find contradictions and find things that just don't add up.
Absolutely.
It's not just we didn't come up with this. This been sought out for over 800 years now. Yes. We got all the proof, all the facts, all the evidence. It's been people investigating the scriptures for 800 years.
Look 4 or 5 different people who lived in different time periods that arrived at the same conclusion.
The same exact conclusion. So let's read this. Let's start off reading it. So look, first thing I want to show y'all is the creation story, and I want to break down how the text is different from going to chapter 1 from going to chapter 2. Now, this is how you know that there are conflicting chapters, because even I at one point in my life thought that it was 2 different creation stories. I even taught that before, and then I got corrected to think something that was still off. You see that? So when I first came into the truth, when I was in Kemet and all of that, and I came into the truth, look, I immediately started teaching that there were 2 different creation stories, because Genesis Bereshit chapter 1 and Genesis Bereshit chapter 2 reads totally different. So then I was later taught that no, these are just a summary and more details of the first chapter. But what we finna read and how we finna break this down, no, it's not. So let's go and read this real quick.
The creation story, the Elohim, or the E document. All right. It says Genesis 1:26, and Elohim, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 27. So Elohim, God, created man in his own image. In the image of God, Elohim created he him, male and female created he them.
So what we see in Genesis chapter 1, you would never see the word Yahweh. You would never see the word Yod Hey Wav Hey. You would never see the word Lord in Genesis chapter 1. So you would have to ask yourself, if this is the same writer in Genesis chapter 1, then why is it calling Yahweh, or our creator, why is it calling him a different name when you go over to the next chapter? Even in the way that it explains who he is and how he creates. Notice when you look at this in Genesis chapter 1, it's speaking of God as in, somebody that's cosmic, that's up in the sky, that's not hands in with his creation. Notice it always said God said. That's right. God said. Yep. God said. God said. Like he's a high deity, and he don't want nothing to do with his creation when it comes to like being close and personal.
Hands on.
But when you get to Genesis chapter 2, we're going to read they calling the God that's a totally different name, and then you're going to see God is starting to be more personal. You're going to see him shaping Adam from the dust dust of the ground. You're going to see him blowing into Adam's nostrils. You're going to see him picking Adam up and placing Adam in the garden. It's two totally different ways for you to see God. And they even calling God two totally different names. So we just read Genesis chapter 1, 26 and 27. Now let's go down to Genesis chapter 2 and read 21 and 22. And notice that the names are different. For those that don't speak Hebrew, which we do. For those that don't read Hebrew, which we do. For those who don't write or scribe Hebrew, which we do. If you read the word God, it simply says Elohim, and that means powers. We're not going to see the same thing in Genesis chapter 2. So let's read it.
Genesis 2 and 21, the Yahweh or the Yahweh document, right? And Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High Yahweh had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
So now we see in Genesis chapter 2, and y'all can go challenge us. Go through. Matter of fact, we're going to read both chapters. We're going to just go through them. We ain't going to be too fast, but we're going to go through them just to show all the different perspectives. And we're going to show it's two total different writers, y'all. It's not the same. So the question you're going to have to ask yourself, well, in Judaism, the traditional teaching is that Moshe wrote the Torah. That's what the traditional saying and teaching is, but we finna prove without a shadow of a doubt that Moses didn't write this. He didn't write this. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't scribe a Torah for us, but I'm saying that the Torah and Tanakh that we got, Moses ain't scribed that, and we finna prove it. We are finna prove it. So what I got right here is, I said in Lord God, which is Yahweh Elohim, formed man out of the dust of the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. That's Genesis 2 and 7. So if you look at the notes I said in the Edoc. Now, the only reason why we're calling this the Edoc is because this is where the writer, whoever the author or the scribe is, they only call God Elohim. They don't call him any other name. So in the Edoc, Yahweh is more cosmic. He's a cosmic God. He's not personal with his creation. So read chapter 1. So we finna go read that, and we gonna show y'all that. Now, when you get down to the Yahwistic or the Yahweh or the Y document, I said in the Y document, Yahweh is more hands-on with his creation. Yahweh is described as being more human-like. He's blowing, he's shaping, and he's operating, right? And he's operating. Now check this out. Check this out real fast. Let's just go read chapter 1 and read. Let's just go read the chapters, and it will blow your mind. It will seriously blow your mind. Check this out. Check this out. Let me move this out the way real quick. Exit full screen. Bang. Now let's get it. Let's pull up this scripture. Where that scripture at? All right, what we're going to do, we're going to read chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 1. Let's get it, my brother.
In the book of Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Elohim, God, created the heaven and the earth.
So in the beginning, God, Elohim, created the heavens and the earth.
And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the water.
See that? Now we got the spirit of God moving upon the face of the water. So whenever we read through this, it's like God is untouchable in the sense. It's like God is just over the creation. He didn't really want hands on in the creation. Now we're going to see him directly talking to Adam after he created him. But that is really like as far as he go. He had never put his hands in the creation. He would never be doing any type of blowing into Adam. That is only mentioned when you get into inside of chapter 2, but in chapter 1 he's more cosmic. Come on.
Verse 3, and Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light that it was good, and Elohim divided the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
Come on.
Verse 6, and Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Let it divide the waters from the waters.
You see that? So Elohim is just, he's a cosmic being, and he's speaking everything into existence. But when we get into Genesis chapter 2, look, the Most High straight hands on with the whole creation. And we got two different names. We haven't read the word Lord yet, have we?
Not yet.
So we see that this is even God is named totally different, showing you that the penmanship of the scribe is different. This couldn't have been Moses. Moses, because when we start reading and start showing y'all this presentation, you're going to see a bunch of different handwriting signatures, the way that they perceive who God is, the way that they call different land mass. They even interpretate stories different, like they remembered them wrong, or when the stories was passed down to the scribes, they either heard the correct story and they ain't like how it sounded and they changed it. But what we're going to see the scribes literally working falsehood. That's what we're going to see.
So the prophecy in Jeremiah 8:8 came to pass.
It came to pass. It very much did.
It came to pass.
All right, let's get it.
All right, verse 6, and Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so.
So, dude, is he called, do we see Yahweh anywhere? We do not see Yahweh. Only thing we see is Elohim. Come on.
And Elohim called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
Come on.
And Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear.
See, notice that. Now, notice he's speaking all these things into existence. He's not doing nothing physically, but in chapter 2, we're going to see a lot of physical work going on. We're going to see a lot of hands-on work going on. So either we have to admit that these are two different creation stories, or we're going to have to humble ourselves down, take ego out of the play, and say these are two different authors. And if these are two different scribes, then that means the traditional philosophy that we've been taught, that Moshe wrote these things, is a pure lie. It's gonna have to be one or other. We can't straddle the fence though, y'all, and that's what we're trying to show y'all. And just because you choose up and you see and you choose to see truth doesn't mean that you put Yahweh down, and doesn't mean that you put Christ down.
That's right.
That doesn't mean that. That don't mean you turn your back on the word of God. Again, the word of God is the first begotten of the Father. It's the first begotten of Yahweh. So we have to get that out of our mindset that the word of Yahweh is a book. It's not. It is not. Because if it was, we wouldn't read all these contradictions and everything we finna read now.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's get it.
Absolutely.
Hey, facts.
And Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. Verse 10. And Elohim called the dry land eretz, earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And Elohim saw that it was good.
We still have not read Yahweh. So that's why this particular source is called the Elohist document, or the Elohist source, because the particular region where the people came out, or the scribes that came out who particularly wrote this, didn't call him Yahweh. They called him Elohim. They called him powers. And it makes sense why they called him powers, because when you study the antiquity around that time, they literally believed, and I believe in it as well, that it wasn't just one El. There was Yahweh. There was Barak Rael, which is the god of lightning. There was Remael, which is the god of rain. That's Uriel, which is the god of the planetary systems. There was Raphael, the god of healing. And all these different gods were called Malakim, or angels, and they actually was under the Almighty Yahweh and under his first begotten, which is Yahushua the Messiah. So yes, many different powers. So they understood that. They understood that whole thing, and they particularly didn't believe in monotheism. But you see, when we get to chapter 2, it's going to be a monotheism type of aspect and perspective when it comes to Yahweh. They don't want to mention him and being a part of no other powers or none of that. They saying he's the only power there is, period. And we gonna show and prove that, showing you that even back then there were different philosophies and different ideologies and different way to view the scrolls when it came to different sects of all the 12 tribes of Israel.
Absolutely.
So it's been
that's the truth. That's the truth, you know what I mean? Look, and if it wasn't the truth, it wouldn't have been all these different sects, you know what I mean? So you got the Father, and then you got all the powers that he created up under him that take heed to his command.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But make no mistakes, they are powers. They are gods.
Facts.
They are. What I mean? They're up under the Heavenly Father, and they take heed to his command. Mikael, Raphael, Uriel.
Yes.
Barak Riel, like
Barak Riel is the one of lightning.
Now, some of y'all don't read the book of Enoch. That ain't our problem, but that's where you'll find the name, you know what I mean, of all these messengers, Melachim, or gods.
And in certain instances, you will see where they will pray for these certain gods. They will pray for these certain gods. And we can pull that up too, showing you that it was different parts of Israel that believed in polytheism, and it was different parts that believed in monotheism.
Absolutely.
And these are facts, and it's all throughout the Torah. If we just slow down and remove our egos and what we've been indoctrinated with, and just look at truth for what it is. That's it. We have to get out our own way, family. All right, let's keep reading.
Verse 11, and Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so.
Come on out.
And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind.
Come on.
And Elohim saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the third day.
Now look, we ain't got enough time to keep reading through all of this, so just look. God, you will never see Yahweh, or you will never see the English translation of Yahweh, which is Lord, showing you that whoever wrote this particular passage right here said he thought he was many powers. He was many powers. And then when we go over into chapter 2, notice it's going to read something totally different. So now we're going over to chapter 2. We're going over to chapter 2. Now check this out. Check this out. Let me blow it up. All right, let's read this, Maccabee.
Yeah, okay. Genesis 2:1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made.
Now check this out. Now this is how you know that the scriptures or the scrolls was chopped up the wrong way and put into different books the wrong way, because Genesis, Bereshith chapter 2 all the way to 3 belongs to the first document. It's still calling him God. It's still acting like that he wasn't hands-on with his creation. Now when we get to the next verse, which is verse 4, we're going to see his name completely change. So this is how you know that Genesis chapter 2 verse 1, 2 and 3 still belongs to the first document, y'all. And you can see that in a lot of different Bibles too, in different versions of the Bible, where you can go to Isaiah chapter 11 verse 12. I'm just using it as an example. So I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm using an example because this is in your Bible. You can go to Isaiah chapter 11 verse 15 and say that's the end of the verse. But then you can go into verse 16 and it will pick up like it never left off. And then all of a sudden the whole subject change in the middle of the next chapter, showing you that the scriptures and the scrolls was chopped and divided up wrong. We seeing that right here, because now we finna see where a new scroll is presented once we enter into Genesis chapter 2 verse 4. So let's start from 1 again, just so they can see that this is still a part of the old creation.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
It's still calling him Elohim. Come on.
And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made.
It's still calling him Elohim. Now, all of a sudden, we finna get a whole different new subject, and we finna get a whole different new name when it comes to how we perceive Yahweh. Now, check it out. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4.
These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh made the earth and the heavens.
See that? Now he becomes Yahweh Eloheinu, or Yahweh Elohim, or Yahweh El. See that? Two totally different names. Now we're never going to see just God by itself again in this different particular writing. And this writer comes from a whole different perspective. Now Yahweh is going to be more hands-on. Yahweh is going to be breathing. Yahweh is going to be shaping. Yahweh is going to be walking. Then when you get to 3, he's walking in the midst of the garden. He's hands-on with creation, and he's very, very personal with his creation, which is a total different story and perspective when it comes to Genesis chapter 1. All right, so Genesis chapter 2, verse 4 again.
These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh Elohim made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew.
Come on.
For Yahweh El had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground.
So now what they call him? Yahweh El. Come on.
Verse verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. That's hard.
That's hard.
Verse 7. And Yahweh El formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul.
So did Elohim do this exact same thing? No, he didn't. Elohim spoke everything into existence in Genesis chapter 1. Elohim said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Elohim spirit moved upon the face of the water. Elohim said 10 times in Genesis chapter 1. Now we got a God. Whether we're going to say it's the same or not, in order for us to present this academia-wise, we're going to have to say act like they different. Now we got Yahweh El. He's forming man out of the dust of the ground, and he's breathing into the nostrils of Adam the breath of life, and then man become a living soul. Come on.
Verse 8, and Yahweh El planted a garden eastward in Eden.
So now Yahweh El is even a former. He's planting gardens. Come on.
And there he put the man whom he had formed.
Come on, Doc.
And out of the ground made Yahweh El to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Come on.
Verse 10, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold.
We got to talk on that too when we bring out that flood and that gold, because this goes back to the Anunnaki, boy. We got to talk about that. Come on.
And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone.
And the who?
And the onyx stone.
So even onyx and stones and gemstones and crystals was precious back then, Maccabee.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wicked though, huh?
And look, and even the scribes knew about that, huh?
Yeah, come on.
And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Cush, Ethiopia. And the name of the river is Hiddekel, that is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates.
Come on, brother.
Verse 15, and Yahweh El took the man.
So hold on. Now we got Yahweh El taking the man. Do we got Elohim taking the man or Yahweh El?
Yahweh El taking the man.
Two total different names and perspectives when it comes to Yahweh. See that? Now we got Yahweh El, not Elohim, but Yahweh El taking the man. He already planted a garden, formed a garden. Right. He already made Adam out of the dust of the ground. He already breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So it makes Yahweh El looks more like he's in human form. Which is more personal, which is totally different from Genesis chapter 1. And in Genesis chapter 2, note that this person actually have maps. He's naming locations, specifics. It wasn't specific in Genesis chapter 1. It just said that he separated waters from waters. He said he brought the dry land out of the waters. You see that? Now we get in Genesis chapter 2 with Yahweh El, Eastward and Eden. It's like exact. It's like he's looking at a map while he's scribing, showing you that it is 2 different writers. It is 2 different scribes. It is 2 different authors, and it couldn't have been Moshe. We got to talk about it. Come on.
And Yahweh El took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
So he took man and he put him in the garden to dress it and to keep it. Now we even got 2 different actions he gave man, because in the first one he just told the man to have dominion over the fish and the fowls and dominions over the animals, right? Go forth, be fruitful and multiply. Now in Genesis chapter 2 we got the different God Yahweh El, and the reason why I'm calling it a different God is for academia, y'all. Right? And he got, look, notice what he's telling him. Now he's giving him a straight another job. He say, hey, look, go keep the garden, go dress the garden. So it went from dominion, and you know what I'm saying, to a lesser dominion, and now he got specific jobs and duties to get. So even the duties are a little different, showing you that the perspective of both creations had to come from 2 different mindsets, y'all.
2 different authors.
2 different authors.
Talking about Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 are not written by the same author.
It's not.
You know what I mean? Or not written by, let's use the biblical, the same scribe.
The same scribe. Yeah. And look, unless you saying this, it is written by the same scribe, but these are 2 total different creations. Now, look, I can even rock with you if you'll keep it real to you. At least say, well, maybe it's just two different creations. But look, you can't have all of them. You can't say it ain't two different creations and it's the same one and it's the same writer.
Right.
You're straight up being moving in ego and pride if you admit
right.
that. Right.
Same writer, and it's just a summary or a more in-depth detail of what went down in chapter 1. We've heard that before too.
And if
we actually used to teach that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I mean? But if you slow down and read, you'll see it's different. Look, even the order is different.
The order, everything. Look, and after we read this, we gonna break it down how different it is, y'all. So make sure y'all get out y'all pens and pads. And again, this is not to bash the Bible. This is not to bash the prophets. This is not to turn nobody out of the faith to not. This is to speak life into y'all and show y'all that it's time to choose life. Straight up, we've been serving two different gods, y'all, and we finna prove it.
Right, and the purpose of the conflict, we bringing that out, is to show you understand, when it comes down to choosing life, that even got to do with your diet.
Facts.
You know what I mean? We have not been choosing a life or a living diet being so-called Israelites. We choose Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, which is the death diet, and y'all, over 90% of the nation is sick as if they eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobsters. You understand? I'm talking about that's something we can observe, and that's something we can measure, which makes it a scientific fact. That's just the truth.
And could you say that again? You said the whole nation sick as if we were eating
as if we were eating pork, shrimp, crabs, and lobsters.
And we ain't, but we still sick. What do that mean? What do that mean?
And y'all know we know. Look who I'm sitting next to. This the master herbalist. You can only imagine the phone call him and his team get.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Everybody is sick. So what's the common denominator? It's the flesh. So we brought out the conflict last class where we talking about the prophets were in disagreement with the sacrifices of the priests. We bringing this out right here to show you the conflict, and we going to focus on what's called the P document, the document of the priests, to show you that lion pen of the scribes came into play amongst these priests. You understand? And when we finish, not today, but when we finish with that class about the origin of them sacrifices,
the sacrifice gonna blow y'all mind, boy.
You gonna understand why the prophets was at war with him, and why we telling y'all put that flesh down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put that alcohol down and get rid of that smoke. It's time to dedicate these vessels to the Almighty and live. Now, if you think that's a doctrine of the devil, as if we just told you to sin, you understand, then you need to go get yourself checked out.
Facts.
Go get yourself checked out.
Facts. And everybody on the comment board, I can't see nobody comments, but I hope y'all listening, and I hope you listening with an open mind and not with biased opinions, not with an evil and jealous and envious heart. And I just really hope you humble yourself down and listen to this lesson. Then after you take everything in, you come up with your conclusion. I'm not giving you a conclusion. This is open. Y'all arrive to your own point. I'm not forcing this on anybody. But look, if you call yourself an intelligent, wise man, you will listen with an open mind and with a non-biased opinion, and then you will draw a conclusion at the end of the test, at the end of this entire testimony. All right.
Hey, and that's just the truth. You know what I mean? Look, Malachi and Yaki can't validate none of y'all.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You got to be persuaded within your own mind about what's going on. You know what I mean? And in the end, we want y'all to live life and live abundantly, man. It ain't no reason to be in that mindset like, look, we all gonna die anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's a Negro slave mindset.
Yeah,
I'm trying to live and live abundantly. Fact. And keep growing until I Enoch my body or something.
And you can't do none of that eating flesh, dead carcass, and blood and maggots. You can't. You can't do none of that eating flesh, dead carcass, blood, and maggots. You can't do it. You can't. I'm just keeping it real.
Hey, that's solid though.
You can't.
I mean? All right, verse 16. And Yahweh El commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely. Mayest freely eat. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Now,
my question to you, Malachi Maccabee, reading this so far, when the scroll actually changed in Genesis chapter 2 verse 3, that's when it changed over and it started calling him a different God. Did it go back to Elohim?
It never went back.
It never went back. Now it's Yahweh El, showing you these different scribes are calling God by a different name, by a different source. And the way that they are perceiving who Yahweh is, and in the creation is two total different accounts and ways. In one, he's not dealing with creation like that. He's sitting in a cosmic realm and he's speaking it to existence. And then we got in a different instance with what we read, and now he is hands on in his creation. All right. And one, you don't have no locations whatsoever. I couldn't tell you where all this stuff happened at. Like the Big Bang just happened and the land came out of the water and separated. And I don't even know where it's at. But in this one, we have direct locations on a map where we can go reference and say, oh, Assyria, that's in the Middle East. Oh, Euphrates rivers, that's in Africa. See that this is a total different account and a total different way to actually perceive a creation from two different scribes, y'all. This is not the same scribe. And if this is not the same scribe, then we cannot say that this is Moses and we only in Genesis chapter 2. There is more. It gets way deeper, y'all. Look, this is the warm up. This presentation goes deep. So hold on to your seats and have your pens and your pad.
Yeah, and that's why I was telling the men that's fancying themselves as our ops, look, y'all shot too early. You know what I mean? We told y'all we got a lot to bring out. Let us bring it out. You know what I mean? Most of y'all gonna be calling and apologizing like, okay, I see what y'all saying. Dang.
Yeah, after this, most definitely.
You know what I mean, bro? You ain't looking, it's all good. We know knowledge puffeth up. We ain't the ones that act like, you know, we all egotistical and all that. But all you men that ran around and let that one Negro put a battery in y'all back and charge y'all up because he can't stand for himself. You know what I mean? Shame on you.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Y'all should have just waited. At least wait till we get done bringing everything out. Then come holler. Then do your reproof and your little videos and all that. But everybody, whether you be on Facebook or call yourself making a video about us because of what we did last week, all y'all missed.
Yeah.
You missed. You ain't, none of your shots landed.
Oh, no, we finna show y'all. Y'all. And again, this is not glory and power to us. This is for the nations. We're trying to wake the people up and bring them the pure doctrine. And look, we can't call a doctrine pure if it's so many contradictions and if it's so many miseditings, it's so much, y'all, it's gonna blow your mind. So how can we say no? Yahweh is pure. His first begotten is pure. That's what's pure. We done ordain a book as our God, and that's what we messed up at. We done ordain writings from men our God, and that's what we messed up at. You know what I'm saying? That's what we messed up at. And let's keep it real. We all done did it. I done read something. I've been reading these contradictions for years and been looking straight over them, showing you how indoctrinated and how enslaved I was. You see that? We have to come to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, we've been given lies and Satan have integrated himself in our book, because that's exactly what he did. And look, we not just gonna talk about it. We gonna show and prove you. Look, we gonna show and prove it. Satan done written himself all through these laws, y'all, and we gonna show y'all. Let's get it up.
Hey, look, he used the lion pen of the scribes
to do it.
You know what I mean? Just what it is. We still reading? Or you
we still reading.
All right, verse 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. And Yahweh El said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him. And out of the ground, Yahweh El formed every beast of the field. So out of the ground, Yahweh did what? Formed. See that? We see him making and doing everything with his hands once again. Let's just read this and we're going to get more to the presentation. And out of the ground, Yahweh El formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the earth, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. All right, let's get it. Let's go back to this presentation. Let's get back to this prayers. Let's get it. All right, so let's get back to this real quick. Let me blow this back up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start it back here. Let's get it going, y'all. Look, y'all, look, listen to this. This stuff is finna blow y'all mind. So we already talked about that part. All right, just a quick summary real fast. We see in Genesis chapter 1, he's being called Elohim, which means powers, plural. We see in Genesis chapter 2, he's being called Yahweh El. This is singular when you get to Elohim because it's attached to literally Yahweh. And then if you get in that Yahweh, that Yod is possessive, showing you Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh your God. So this is actually talking about a specific deity. But when you get to Genesis chapter 1, it speaks of deities that's moving in a unit. This is calling the name of Yahweh by two totally different names. Not only that, we see in Genesis chapter 1 that Yahweh is back from his creation. He's cosmic. He's coming from it from a cosmic perspective, and he's not hands-on with the creation at all. But then you get into Bereshith chapter 2, the name changed to Yahweh El, and Yahweh El is more like a human. He's shaping, he's molding, he's breathing, he's creating substance, he's forming, he's doing it, he's placing Adam in the garden. Everything sounds so personal. Yeah, he's a map maker, he's a cartographer. Yeah, he's a map maker. He got the location, Ethiopia, Syria, got all the rivers. All of that. Yeah. All right, so let's keep it going. So now on this one,
Let me bring this down right here. So now this one, I want to show that the animals was created differently. So we got two different creations here. I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to have Maccabee read through it. It says God created the animals before he created man in Genesis chapter 1. But then when we get into Genesis chapter 2, we got God creating man before he created the animals. So let's read Genesis chapter 1, and all of this, y'all, I didn't choose no different versions. I stuck to the King James version the entire time because I knew a Negro had something to say about it. So look, for y'all, just because I love y'all so much, I didn't mush two different versions together, none of that. All right, y'all can get y'all King James version Bible because I know that's what the Hebrews love so much, and y'all can read this along with us, and it's going to read the same exact way. This is no trickery here. This is no editing. This is strictly, look, this is pure, y'all. Now check this out. Genesis chapter 1 verse 24.
Genesis 1 and 24. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so.
Verse 25.
And Elohim made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good.
Come on,
and Elohim said, let us make man in our image.
All right, so hold on. Do we see this? So we see right now that the animals in Genesis chapter 1, Bereshit chapter 1, the animals were created first. Now after the animals is created first after their kind, now we see Elohim, not Yahweh El in Genesis chapter 2, but in Bereshit 1, we see Elohim is now creating man in Genesis chapter 1, 26. And he already created the animals. Now let's read this out. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
And Elohim said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image.
All right, so now we see he created man in his own image after he already had created animals, right?
Yeah.
All right, come on.
So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them.
And we see that the creation of man and woman is created at the same time, simultaneously in Genesis 1. In Genesis 2, we see that he created Adam first and then placed Adam in the garden, and then he did an operation on Adam, and then Kawah, who we call Eve, came from his rib, and that was a separate creation of man. Even though it say it's on the same day, we see that it's not simultaneously as Elohim in Genesis chapter 1. It's a different creation and a perspective of the creation when you get to Bereshit chapter 2, and it talks about Yahweh El. All right, now check this out. So in Genesis chapter 1, we see animals was created before man. Let's see what Genesis chapter 2 have to say about that when we get into the scribe who is talking about Yahweh El. All right, let's get it.
Yahweh El, Genesis 2 and 7. And Yahweh El formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Let's jump down to verse 18.
Verse 18. And Yahweh El said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground, Yahweh El formed every beast of the field.
So hold on. In the first creation, we see that the beast of the field was created first in Genesis chapter 1, verse 24. Let me read it. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind, cattle and creepy thing, and the beast of the earth after its kind. And it was so. And Elohim made the beast of the earth after its kind, and cattle after its kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God, Elohim, created man in his own image. The image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And that shows y'all too, everybody that's so gung-ho and caught up on this mother-father language, or this father-mother language. We see that Yahweh consists of male and female principles right here.
Absolutely.
So why are we all gung-ho and all got our pennies in a bunch? Because we got in the book of the Nazarenes, we got Peter's and some of the apostles saying father, mother. I say it all the time. Because if he made male and female in his image, and that's his image, obviously Yahweh, or obviously Elohim, look, let's keep it academic here, right? Obviously Elohim have both of these principles that he's made of.
Male and female attributes is what it is. And then look, his creation reflects him as well. So everything in creation is male and female.
Male and female plants.
Some of you Negroes grow weed. You got male and female plants, electricity, male and female, your car battery, positive and negative. You know what I mean? Children. Don't you got sons and daughters?
Yeah, sons and daughters.
I know I do.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Everything is male and female, even in creation.
Oh, my brother, matter of fact, you have Y and X chromosomes within inside of you right now.
Oh, oui.
Male and female.
Oh, oui.
Because Y and X depends on whether it makes a boy and a girl, male and female.
Oh, oui.
Oh, man. Now, check this out. So we see in Genesis 1 that the animals was created before
first.
man.
That's right.
The animals was created first. Now, in Genesis 2, when we get to Yahweh El, let's read it one more time for them.
And Yahweh El formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And Yahweh El said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him.
Come on.
And out of the ground Yahweh El formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him.
So now we got another contradiction, because in Genesis 1, when we get to the God Elohim, he created man and he created male and female simultaneously. Not only that, but we see Elohim created the animals before he created man. Now we get over to Bereshith chapter 2, and we see Yahweh El create man, create Adam before he create the animals, right? Now all of a sudden, after he create the animals, Adam look at the animals and see them. When you get into other texts, he see them mating and see them doing things, and he said his heart was sorrow because he didn't have a companion for him. Now after the animals is created in Genesis chapter 2, then comes Eve. This is direct conflict and contradiction, y'all. This is direct conflict and contradiction in the text. So this either means this is two different creations, or this is two different scribes. And if this is two different scribes, then this means Moses did not write this, and this shows you that the scribes were in conflict with each other. And the conflict is going to get more and more. The conflict actually start looking like it become violent. You will start seeing one scribe speak against another scribe. You'll start seeing one scribe make another character in the Bible seems evil and seems bad. Man, look, it's finna get deep, y'all. Just stick with us and take this journey with us.
But y'all notice that in Genesis 1, the Most High created the animals before man. In Genesis 2, the Most High created man, then the animals, and then pulled Eve out of Adam.
Matter of fact, if y'all see that, let me get up out of here real quick. I will go to the comment board for this. If y'all see that real quick, if y'all can see that, family, type in some nines for us. If y'all see that, type in some nines for us. If y'all see that, type in some nines.
Genesis 1, the animals were created, then man and woman were created at the same time. In Genesis 2, Adam was created, then the animals, then Eve was pulled out of Adam.
All right, if y'all see that, type in some nines, and then we're going to get back to it, because it gets way, way, way more deeper than this, y'all. And again, this is not us having a piss contest. This not us trying to sound like scholars. This not us trying to piss on the Bible or make the Bible look bad. This is us bringing truth out, because we have been serving two different gods, thinking that we've been serving a God of life, but we really been serving a God of death.
Hey, look, and y'all, this same conflict even was in the Messiah's day. One of his chief adversaries were the scribes. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is, you know what I mean? So all you can do to really understand the true teachings of Moses that the Messiah came to restore, well, you got to listen to the teachings of the Messiah and the teachings he passed to his disciples.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You sticking in the Bible, teach life. You know what I mean? You want to go a little deeper, then you got to get into the faith of the Nazarenes, Ebionites, Essenes, and all them, because these are the ones that were vanguards of the true teachings of Moses.
All right, let's get it.
That's just the truth. I see the nines, though. All right,
we see the nines. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. And I'm going to do that after every last one of them, just to make sure that we are all in agreement before we keep going. And this agreement does not mean that you agree with us. This just means that you agree with the text. This agreement, if you agree with this, this don't mean that you agree that we shouldn't be eating meat. We're not even here for that right now. We just want you to see this, and we want to know if you agree with what we're seeing here with the actual presentation of the contradictions and the mishaps that we see in these editorial writings. All right, let's go on to the next one. Now, when you read the next one, check this out. This says the creation origin of the fowls. Now, in the Elohim document, let's read it. Let's read it, Maccabee.
Genesis 1:19. And look, this is a good way. This is like real simple to see if somebody got pride and it blinds them. You know what I mean? I brought this out with a few bros the other day, and they couldn't see it. So I knew then there's no reason to go even further.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't see this.
You full of pride.
Yeah, you full of pride. Or just the indoctrination is just what it is, man. You know what I mean? We understand because we used to be indoctrinated.
Yeah, facts.
All right, Genesis 1:19. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Genesis 1:20. And Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
So in Genesis chapter 1, verse 20, we see that the fowls come from the water. All right, let's read that one more time.
And Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
Come on.
Verse 21, and Elohim created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good.
Now, notice that we still dealing with the God Elohim in Bereshith chapter 1, all right? Now, let's move down to the Bereshith chapter 2, verse 19, and let's see what Yahweh El created. Let's see if he created, and let's see where the fowls come from in Genesis chapter 2:19. Let's read it.
Genesis 2:19, and out of the ground Yahweh El formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the earth.
Hold on. Stop right there. Because in Genesis chapter 1, verse 20, it says, and Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life and the fowl that may fly above the air. So hold on. When in Genesis chapter 1, I'm seeing that the fowl came from the water.
The waters.
But you just read in Genesis chapter 2:19. Read that again.
Genesis 2:19. And out of the ground Yahweh El formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the earth, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof.
Let's keep reading.
Verse 20, and Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the earth and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him.
So in my notes that I put on here, I said, note, in the Edoc, Elohim created the fowls and they came from the water. Note, in the Y document, or in the Yahweh document, Yahweh El document, it says he created the fowls and they came from the ground. So these versions of the stories are in conflict with one another. Y'all see that? Waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life and the fowl that may fly. Then if you get into another chapter, it says out of the ground, the Lord thy God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air. So we got two different origins where the fowls come from. In one chapter, we got the fowls coming from the waters, but in the next chapter, which is a different God who's even looking and that's personal with his creation, we see that them fowls came from up out of the dust of the ground.
Out of the ground. Now, the breakdown that we used to hear back in the day, and I heard it the other day when I brought it out with some of the bros, right? They was like, well, I was under the impression that everything was water, a big ball of water, and then, so in essence, everything comes out of the water. I was like, oh, okay, but there's just one problem with that understanding. The problem is, if you read back up in Genesis chapter 1, the Most High had already separated the water from the dry ground.
Facts.
The dry ground he called earth, and the water he called seas. So, you know what I mean? So there is conflict in Genesis 1:20, Genesis 2:19. The understanding that everything was a big ball of water, so in essence, everything come out of water. And think about it, Ak, even you come out of water. Don't your mama water break? But her body came from the earth. And look, I understand the breakdowns. I used to teach them. You understand? But if you be real with yourself, these are two different accounts. The fire comes out of the water in Genesis 1 and 20 and out of the ground in Genesis 2 and 19. You understand? If you read back up in Genesis 1, Genesis chapter 1, the dry ground had already appeared. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, you can make an argument and say whales come out of the ground.
In fact, and you know what I mean? You better not say that, because then you're going to be sounding crazy. Yeah. What you sound crazy saying that everything come from water, when we see that the text says something different. Even if I can agree with you on that, I believe everything come from the water. So look, I agree with you, but guess what don't agree with us? Genesis 2 and 19, because Genesis 2 and 19 just said that the fowl came from the ground.
Exactly.
See that? So I agree with you, brother. I agree with that. I think all things come from the water. But guess who don't agree with that? That scribe that wrote Genesis chapter 2 is in 19. Disagreement. That's right. It's in disagreement with what we agree to.
Yeah. And so there's an obvious conflict there. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Before we keep going, because there's more, it gets deeper and deeper. If y'all seen that, type in some 9s and we'll keep it going. If y'all seen that, type in some 9s and we'll keep it going. Once we get some 9s, we'll keep it going. If we got to revisit it real quick, we will.
Exactly.
If we got to revisit it real quick, we will. But if y'all seen that, and if you're not stuck in pride and you're not stuck in ego and that narcissistic mindset, type in some 9s and we'll keep it pushing.
Yeah, just be real with yourself.
Yeah, be real with yourself. Okay, we got 9s. All right, look, let's go into some more. Because look, y'all, it gets deeper. It gets deeper, y'all. It gets deeper and it gets deeper. All right, let's keep it going. And again, we're not telling you to put the Bible down. There is life in the Bible. There is life in the Bible, right. But it's a whole lot of death in there too. And what we saying is, since we know it's contradictions and we know that the pens lied and they wrote falsehood in it, let's not teach the lies. Let's not teach the death. Let's teach the life thereof up out of the book. That's right. What we saying. We're not telling you to put the Bible down. The Bible changed my life. Why would I tell you to put something down that changed my life? I've been locked up. I've been stabbed. I've been shot. I've been on my deathbed plenty of times. That Bible revived me, brought me back to life. So why would I tell you to put it down? I'm just saying, once you arrive to a new point and you level up in the spiritual realm and you see that, look, it's been the devil working the whole time, why would I keep teaching y'all the death out of it?
I can't do it.
I can't do it.
Can't do it.
I can't do it. I gotta show y'all the truth. So, because at first we weren't even gonna bring this out, because we like, man, a lot of people might fall out of the faith once they see all the contradictions. So we said, you know what, we gotta bring it out, but let's put out some disclaimers first, and let's just take it slow and be patient with the people and show them, look, we ain't gonna tell you to put down the Bible and not give you nothing else. We not even saying put down the Bible. We just saying speak the life out of the Bible, because the death that's in that Bible and these laws and all these sacrificial laws, they was put in there by the lying pens of the scribes, and the priests had an agenda, and we can prove it. We can actually prove it. We not just speaking of these things. This is not just us blurting out something to a whole community and misleading y'all astray. We would be false if we sat up here and said things that we couldn't prove. Y'all think that we would do the flock of Yahushua like that? Man, look, I am afraid to even misuse and mistreat y'all. Y'all think we just up here playing around? No, we not. It's souls on the line here, and that's the reason why we sitting at this table bringing forth this lesson.
Yeah. We wouldn't even came outside. I was trying to tell some of the bird, like, man, look, y'all act like we don't know what y'all, like, where you gonna go to for a response, or as if we don't know Leviticus 11, the sacrificial laws and the meat laws and all that. We know that's in there already. What everybody need to be asking is this: hey, what information y'all got? Let me look at that.
Facts.
That's what you need to be asking. You know what I mean? We've been doing this a long time. Some of us more than others.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And look, the fact that we willing to come out and tell you, like, look, we've been looking at a few things wrong. You know what I mean? That shows that the pride and ego ain't on this part.
Facts.
It ain't on this part. We love, tell you, hey, look, we've been going, like, you know what I mean? We've been going the wrong direction. You ever been on a road trip and the nigga on the back seat, you know what I mean, know the directions or whatever, and you done passed up 10 exits.
Don't say nothing to you.
You done passed up 10 exits.
I thought you was going another way, I thought you had your own way. Man. You should have said something.
Why you ain't say nothing, man?
Yeah.
We about 3 hours out the way now because you ain't want to say nothing.
Yeah, we ain't that. Yeah. We ain't that. All right, let's read this, Maccabee. Look, it's finna get deeper, y'all. Hey, strap on to your seatbelts. I'm telling y'all, look, this stuff finna start blowing y'all mind. We ain't even scratched the surface yet. Do you know if we set up and we just did contradictions, we'll be here for 3 days straight? If we just did contradictions, we'll be here for 3 days straight, y'all. That's how much it is. And you can see them yourself if you just slow down and take indoctrination out of your mind. All right, let's get it.
All right, this right here is deity and creation vocabulary, right? right? By who is that? Dan Clanton.
Yep, this is by Dan Clanton, y'all. What I did, whenever you see a name at the bottom, that means because everything else we created ourselves. But if you don't see a name, if you see a name, we're paying homage to the people that, because it's more. Look, it's so many scholars that's been bringing this out. So if you do see a name in the bottom right, y'all can actually Google them, and these are scholars that's been bringing forth the same thing. So I did use a couple. I think about 4 or 5 of somebody else's works, but everything else is ours. I've been up for what? Two days straight doing this.
Bro, going hard.
Yeah, I've been up. I ain't even been asleep putting this stuff together.
Yep. Deity and creation vocabulary. The terms for the deity are different in both accounts.
You see that? So the terms of the deity is different in both accounts. In Genesis chapter 1, he's called Elohim. In Genesis chapter 2, he's called Yahweh El. Come on.
Verbs for creation are different. In the P story, meaning the priest story, Genesis 1 through 2, 4a, the verb for creation is bara.
So he used, in Elohim, the creation was big, bara. Now, when you get to Genesis, when he used the word creation, it's like he's already making something that was already created. It uses asa. So look, even the terms and the way that they even look at creation is different, but that makes sense because they wrote the accounts different. Yeah, they wrote the accounts differently.
Yeah.
Come on.
More proof that it's more than one scribe.
Facts.
Okay.
Showing you that it's not Moshe.
Nah, it's not.
And look, Moshe do have a Torah that he wrote, but guess what? You don't have it. It was burned. Guess what? You don't have it and it was burned. And guess what? We can even get the words from it if we follow the teachings of Messiah and his apostles. You see that? So it ain't like it was lost. That's what Christ was roaming around Asia and roaming around India and roaming around Jerusalem, roaming around Africa, teaching the people. He was teaching them the pure Torah, the pure law of Moshe, not the law of the dead. Look, and everybody want to say they got daggers for that book. No, y'all don't. Y'all don't.
You ain't got daggers for none of it.
And check this out, y'all. And if y'all, and just because we ain't hiding none of this information, y'all can get this stuff y'allself. Check this book out right here. This is called Who Wrote the Bible by Richard Elliott Friedman. Who Wrote the Bible by Richard Elliott Friedman. Cop that. Yeah. This is another book y'all need to get. This is called Textual Criticism of the Hebrew Bible. This go in. I mean, this literally go hard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is by Emmanuel Tove. All right. Divine Prospect put me up on this one. This is deep, man. Yeah. I mean, this go in. All right, here go another one, y'all. This is called The Lost Religion of Jesus, man, by Keith Akers. Man, y'all gotta jump in this. And all of these scribes, and all of these teachers, and these are professors and theologians, they are saying the same thing that me and him been arrived to. Look, we arrived to the point that they've been arrived to, which is 800 years ago, and we start researching, and then we came across the authors. It wasn't like we just, we bought books and we arrived to this point. No, we arrived to this point, and that's how we came across the books. I want to show y'all that this was showed to us by the Spirit, and then once we started researching what Yahweh put in our spirit, then we started accumulating the books. So it ain't like we just went and read something and took it and ran with it. No, it was not like that at all. Just to put that out there. All right, let's get this.
All right, so deity and creation vocabulary. The terms for the deity are different in both accounts. Verbs for creation are different. In the P story, Genesis 1 through 2 and 4a, the verb for creation is bara, to create, which is used exclusively with the deity.
Come on.
Verbs in J or Y document.
Right, and the reason why, because in J, how they say Yahweh and J in German, most of the Germans that are now what you would call your Jewish folks, a lot of them got a lot to say about the matter too. A lot of them. And a lot of them even say they still teach out of the oral traditions and the Talmud and the Mishnah because the Torah have so many contradictions and mistranslations, interpretations in it. They say, look, we just gonna stick to the oral tradition. But when you get into the oral tradition, they got a lot of stuff in there, a lot of depth in there as well.
Look, it all come out of Babylon.
All of it does. All of it
come out of when we was in ancient Babylon. That's where them scribes got to work and they work, whether it's the Babylonian Talmud or your refurbished Torah, because the law was burnt. The Torah was burnt according to 2 Ezra 14 and 21. Read them and weep.
And look, remember in the times of Ezra and Nehemiah, there wasn't no scrolls. And that's the reason, that's where you see Urim and Thummim start coming in, that they casting lots to reveal the word of God. Remember when they started doing Urim and Thummim to reveal the word of God, because they didn't have a word to reference. That's the reason why they started doing all those things. All you got to do is line this stuff up. And look, we even got the timeline for y'all. So once we go through this, we're going to show y'all timelines and everything. We really took our time with this. All right, come on with it, big bro.
All right, right here. Verbs in J or the Y document are more common. The first instance of creation, chapter 2, verse 4b in the J account, Genesis 2, 4 through 3, 24, is articulated by the verb asa.
So in one verse, when you get to Elohim, he say creation is bara in Hebrew. But when you get into chapter 2 with Yahweh El, he say asa, which means what?
To make or do. An extremely common verb. The second verb used in 2 and 7 is yatzor, meaning to form or shape as a potter or artisan. Another common verb. Showing
you that these two scrolls and these two writers view the creator in two total different aspects. One seemed like he couldn't be touched. He was cosmic. And the other one seemed like he was in human form. And he was very close and personal with Adam and Kawah, which is Adam and Eve. All right, we're going to go to the next slide. Now, the next slide, we're going to get into the gender vocabulary. Check this out, y'all.
Gender vocabulary. The terms for gender identification are different in both stories. We talking about Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, right? The P or the priest account uses uncommon words for male and female. Zakar for male, which can also mean a male animal, cf. Exodus 12 and 5. And Nequava for female, which can also be used for female animals, cf. Genesis 6:19. In contrast, J or the Y, Yahweh uses more common terms, ish for man.
See that? So when you see man in there, it's ish. And then when you see woman, it's isha. But then you go into different accounts of the same scribe. They using nakava or they using zakar. See that? Even the vocabulary and the way that they use Hebrew is different. Even the language is different, y'all. Even the language. Y'all can look this up for yourselves right now. Come on.
In contrast, J uses common terms ish for man and isha for woman. Both terms can also be to designate male and female animals. CF Genesis 7 and 2.
All right, let's get it.
For y'all that don't know, we got a beloved Emad that we gonna call, or she gonna call in after we get done. That went to seminary school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and they're trained. Look, that's how you know that this ain't no, like, we ain't playing, we ain't making this up. She gonna give her testimony. They were trained in the contradictions and the conflict of the Bible. Fact. Showing you that these pastors that go to school to get theology degrees, they already know.
Already know this stuff.
They already know this whole thing is a hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
1 Kings 4 and 26.
Now check this out. So this is a contradiction right here with Solomon and his stalls and his horses, y'all. All right. Now check this out. Read this real quick.
1 Kings 4 and 26. And Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots and 12,000 horsemen.
That's 1 Kings 4 and 26. Let's read the same thing in 2 Chronicles 9 and 25.
2 Chronicles 9 and 25. And Solomon had 4,000 stalls for horses.
So hold on. In 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 26, we see that Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots. But when you get to 2 Chronicles 9 and 25, Solomon had 4,000 stalls for his horses and chariots.
Right.
So now we see the difference, y'all. So we cannot act like that the scribes was not messing up, or they just wanted to change things, or they wanted to be like, hold on, I wanted to make it sound bigger. I'm gonna put 40 on there because I'm after the tribe of Judah. And you will see that. You will see people, scribes from the tribe of Judah, be trying to trump the scribes that was in the northern tribes. In the northern kingdom, it was straight, look, northern kingdom scribes banging against southern kingdom Judite scribes. I mean, banging. Two total different accounts, putting down the northern tribes, lifting up the Judites, lifting up David, lifting up Solomon. But then you would get a Elohis from the northern tribe. He'd make David seem bad. David committed murder. David committed adultery. David didn't, you know what I'm saying? But then you'll read from a Judite out of the southern kingdom, which is what David's from. They like, look, he had a repentant heart. He had a heart like Yahweh. And you see that they was competing for who was who had the most hero character when it came to the text. Hey, it gets deep, y'all.
But y'all see in 1 Kings 4, Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses. 2 Chronicles 9:25, he had 4,000. That's 10% less.
Yeah.
That's 10% less. 4,000, you know what I mean, is 10% of 40,000.
Yeah. Yep. So, would you read that out for him real fast?
2 Chronicles 9:25. You want me to read top two?
Yeah, you read the top again.
1 Kings 4:26. And Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots and 12,000 horsemen. 2 Chronicles 9:25. And Solomon had 4,000 stalls for horses and chariots and 12,000 horsemen, whom he bestowed in the chariot cities and with the king at Jerusalem.
Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Hold on. Now, if y'all seen that, and y'all see the difference, type in some nines. If y'all see that, type in some nines, and we gonna keep it going. Look, there's more, y'all. And look, all of this is leading up to a certain point, y'all. All this is leading up to that priest document. All of this is leading up to what the priest put in the law, y'all. All this leading up to the scribes of the priest, boy. It will blow y'all mind what they've been doing. They've been lying and twisting our Torah, y'all. This is not the same Torah that was given to Moses. We got a total different Torah in Tanakh. I know that's hard to believe. I know that's hard to digest, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth.
It's just what it is. And again, there's a lot of Israelites arguing over this dead Levitical priesthood as if you doing it right
like
now.
It's still in full effect.
You know what I mean? And the Negroes was running around here like you keep 613 laws. No, you don't.
You sure don't.
None of you Negroes do. You know what I mean? Because that's it. Y'all going against the law. How's we going against the Torah of life and the Torah of death?
That's
Choose
right.
life. Choose life. Teach life. The problem is we've been mingling.
Yeah, we've been mingling.
You know what I mean? Light and darkness can't dwell together.
And look, we've been straight serving. Look, this is exactly what's been happening, y'all. We have been eating animal flesh and sacrificing these animals, thinking we've been sacrificing them to Yahweh, but we were sacrificing them to different gods the whole entire time. And that's what the priest was exposing. And that's why the priest got politically assassinated.
The prophets.
That's why the prophet, my bad, brother. Yeah, my bad, y'all. That's why the prophets, the Nabim, got politically assassinated, because they realized and came to the conclusion, because Yahweh hollered at them directly, they've been serving Esterosh, they've been serving Baal, they've been serving Baal Peor, they've been serving Molech in the temples, thinking that they was spilling that blood and having that death and that blood on their hands. They thought they was doing that for Yahweh. The whole time they was doing that for other gods. That was the big okie doke. Yeah. Satan played everybody.
Yes.
And imagine that. They killing animal after animal in the temple. I bet that temple stank to high heaven. Imagine just the desecration. Imagine just the smell of the putrefaction coming from them animals. And the blood the priest got blood dripping from their holy garments. And y'all telling me that was by Yahweh. No, it wasn't. We gonna show y'all that was a plot. And this plot all happening while in exile, y'all. These priests had a plot, y'all, and we gonna expose the whole thing.
Yeah, and look, and if y'all think they not sacrificing to Baal, what do you think these slaughterhouses are?
Yep.
You know what I mean? What do you think these slaughterhouses are? If you just look at the kill clock, dealing with just the America of these animals and all that. And why you think the Messiah, what he did when he assaulted the temple or attacked the temple, turned over the money changers table, and then he said, and then he released the animals and said, take these hence. Yeah. Make not my father's house a house of merchandise. They was up there selling sacrifices, and he freed the animals who were about to be murdered and killed and tortured. Yeah. That assault on the temple was one of the main things that got him murdered. Yeah. That's the truth. If I will have mercy and not sacrifice. If you knew what that meant, you wouldn't have condemned the guiltless or the innocent. Well, who are the innocent being condemned doing sacrifice? It's the animals. It's the animals. So a lot of you Negroes is running around here mad because we exposing a corrupted Levitical priesthood that you ain't even a part of.
Yeah, and we not talking about Moshe.
Exactly.
It was Aharon and his sons. We ain't talking. Look, we gonna prove all this stuff, y'all. Look, this is what y'all gotta understand. We just don't be throwing shit out there that we can't back up. You can't be a true teacher if you do things like that. If it come out of our mouth, we can prove and back it up. We just not sitting here speaking out of passion, just saying things and sounding crazy. No, we are very strategic and careful of what we say, y'all. Like, we don't take this as no game. We not playing around. It's souls on the line. We not playing around with this.
Exactly.
We not playing around. Look, it gets deeper. Let's get back to it. It gets deeper. It gets deeper. And if anybody need this presentation, just let us know. We will email it to you.
Exactly.
Look, this ain't ours. This ain't even ours. We put it together, but it ain't ours. This is for the world to see. Now, look, we just seen that, right? Y'all seen y'all nines. Y'all all agreed. Now, look, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. All right. Now, check this out. This one says Christ spoke of his betrayal before or after eating. This going into the New Testament, or what we call the Q document, and that go deep once y'all start getting into the Q document. All right, let's read Luke 22:19.
Luke 22:19, and he took bread and gave and he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, this is my body which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood which is shed for you. But behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is with me on the table.
This is already after he had broken bread with him, correct? He already broke bread with Judas. He already sipped with Judas. They already entered into the covenant. Now, right after that, then Yahushua exposed him and said, look, hey, somebody at the table with me betrayeth me. Come on, let's keep reading.
Verse 22, and truly the Son of Man goeth as it was determined, but woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed. And they began to inquire among themselves which of them it was that should do this thing.
So my notes is under this. Christ speak of the betrayal after breaking bread and drinking. Now let's move over to Mark, right?
Mark 14:18. And as they sat and did eat, Messiah said, verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me.
So this is before. This is right after. Look, and as they sat and did eat, Yahushua said, verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me. Come on.
And they began to be sorrowful and say unto him one by one, is it I? And another said, is it I? And he answered and said unto them, it is one of the 12 that dippeth with me in the dish.
Oh, come on.
The Son of Man indeed goeth as it is written of him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. Good were it for that man if he had never been born.
All right, so look, now we see Christ speaks of the betrayal before breaking of the bread and drinking. Come on.
Verse 22, and as they did eat, the Messiah took bread and blessed and brake it and gave to them and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. And he said unto them, this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many.
Oh, now check this out. It gets deeper.
So Messiah speaks. What happened?
So look, check this out. So on this one, you see, and he took the bread and he gave thanks, and they break it and they gave unto him, saying, this is my body which is given for you. This is my remembrance of me. Likewise this cup. And it says that the New Testament in my blood which is shed for you. But so why they did that? They already eating and drinking. Why they did that? They already done did their communion.
Right.
Now he's saying, look, somebody done betrayed me. But when we read it right here, it says, as they sat and they did eat. You see that? As they said, and they did eat, said Jesus. Jesus said, verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me.
So he speaks of the betrayal in Luke 22 after breaking bread and drinking. And then he speaks of the betrayal before breaking bread and drinking in Mark the 14th chapter.
But look, it gets even deeper though. Once we go to the next one. I mean, everything is different. Dang, I got to scroll wrong. Once we go through this scroll, we gonna get back to that, because even the way Judas with the shekels, it said that he threw the shekels at the priest's feet. But then in another one, it says that he bought a field with the shekels, and his guts burst from him.
Right, I seen that a while back.
Boy, so the whole from the eating all the way to when Christ was captured and the way Judas died is totally different. I got the stuff mixed up, y'all, but we gonna get it. It's still gonna come out.
If y'all can hear us good, give us a 7. Give us a 7 up in the room. Bruh say your mic is a little muffled. Which muzzled?
Which mic is muzzled? Let me know now. Is it mine or is it Maccabee?
Mic check. Mine just went out.
Yours is out?
Yeah, you just right there.
You good now?
No, it's out now. There, I can hear it. It's doing what it was doing at first.
Let me put you in plug 4 then.
Hold on, y'all. There it is.
It's back?
Yeah, it's back. I'm all good now.
All right, cool. What about y'all? Can y'all hear me? Let me take it off.
7. Both mics on point, they saying. We good.
Okay, all right, let's get back to it then. Let's get back to it. Now check this out, y'all. I should have checked the order, but it's all good. All right, look. the name of Moses' fathers. Let's get it.
His father-in-law Jethro, right? Now, Exodus 3:1. Now, Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb.
All right, and notice this too. Even the mountain is getting called different names. They call it Mount Horeb. Now look, Moshe keep the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law. This is in Exodus chapter Shemot. They call it Shemot in Hebrew. Shemot 3:1. Now let's go to Shemot 2:16. Let's read what that say.
Exodus 2:16. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moshe stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Ruel, their father.
Hold on, Ruel. So we got Jethro in one chapter, but then we got Ruel in the other. We got Horeb in one chapter, and we got Sinai in another chapter, showing you again different scribes inside the same book, different scribes inside the same Shemot, different scribes writing different things. You're gonna see Moses getting put down in one chapter, and then he get lifted up in another chapter. You're gonna see Aharon getting put down in one chapter, and he's lifted up in another chapter. And just to let y'all know, for and on the record, y'all, all the Hebrew Israelites didn't think Moses and Aharon was even brothers. Some of them didn't even think that they was brothers. Just like you got some Israelites that thought that that Joseph was the actual biological father of Yahushua. Then you got some that thought that it was straight up the Holy Spirit and he was the son of Yahweh.
Right.
All in the Israelite faith, all around the same exact time. Showing you that since the beginning of time, there's been conflict between the scribes. There's been conflict between the priests. There's been conflict between brothers. There's been conflict, y'all, the whole entire time with the prophets and the priests and the scribes, with the Pharisees and the Nazarenes, with Paul, or who we gonna call Saul of Tarsus, and the Nazarenes and the Essenes. It's been conflicts the whole time, and all of them had different beliefs and different ideologies. All of them.
No way.
Let's get to it.
We think everybody was on one accord, huh? Especially after Messiah died, man. Look, I got this book called Early Christianities, boy.
Yeah,
they in there like, boy, it was the years after Messiah died was so much conflict, could nobody agree on nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
Facts. All right, let's read this one more time. So we see in Shemot, Exodus chapter 3:1. Not only do they call the mountain Horeb and not Sinai, but they also call the father-in-law of Moshe Jethro.
Yeah.
But then we go down to Exodus 2:16. What that say?
Exodus 2:16. Now the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moshe stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Ruel, their father, he said, "How is it that ye are come so soon today?" And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock." And he said unto his daughters, "And where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread." And Moshe was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter.
So that makes so in this particular instance, if Ruel gave Moshe his daughter, that would make Ruel his father-in-law, right?
Absolutely.
So Ruel is his father-in-law, but then we get up here, we see in Exodus Shemot 3:1, we see Jethro is his father-in-law. Talking about the same story and the same people, but different names. And they even call the mountains different, and they explain the terrain differently, just like the scribes in Bereshith in Genesis 1 and 2. Genesis 1 is calling him Elohim. Genesis 2 is calling him Yahweh El.
It makes sense. Now trip off this, y'all. Exodus 3:1, right?
Yeah.
Like we under the belief that Moses wrote it. But look, Exodus 3:1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be saying, "Now I kept the flock of my father-in-law Jethro"?
Oh man,
that's showing somebody else is writing this.
Somebody else is writing this. Oh man,
somebody else is writing this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Unless he's crazy and speaking the third person.
Yeah, they don't want war with the Maccabee.
They do not want war with Yaqui. Yaqui made this lesson up. Yaqui stayed up for 3 days putting this lesson together. Don't that sound crazy? Don't that sound crazy, man? That don't even sound right.
Come on, man.
Now look, check this out. These are my notes. My note says Moses' father-in-law in Exodus 3:1 is named Jethro, and then we even put it up, Jethro, and it says a suffix. It says it means excellence. It says Jethro, Moses or Moshe father-in-law. Now look, here go the Hebrew concordance for y'all that say, well, that was just his Egyptian names or his Midian name. No, this is a Hebrew name. Hebrew concordance 3500.
That's right.
Now when you get to Ruel, it says Ruel. It says from the same H7466. Total different Strongs and concordance. It says friend of God, Ruel, the name of Moses' father-in-law. Also an Edomite and an Israelite, Rugael or Ruel. And look, here go the Hebrew concordance again, H7466 and H410. So you can't pull a technicality and say, well, the reason why the name is different because it was in a different language. No, it wasn't. Same language, two different names.
Exactly.
Same thing for Horeb and Sinai. Same language, two different names, y'all. So you can't pull that on it. Look, we put this together nice, y'all.
Yeah, this showing, and look, what we showing is more than one scribe, you know what I mean, that had their pen at work, you know what I mean, putting together what you call the Hathawarah.
The Hathawarah.
You pig Latin speaking Negroes. Or the Torah, you roll your R's. Obviously, if you just slow down and read, you know what I mean, there's more than one scribe. You know what I mean? So the question would be, Jeremiah prophesied about the lion pen of the scribes. We started the lesson off with that. When does that come into play?
Facts.
When does that come into play?
So now we got Moses. Look, we got the same father-in-law, which is Moshe father-in-law, right? But he's been called two different names by two different editors, by two different scribes. Can we agree to that? If you can agree to that, type in some nines.
Absolutely. Makes sense, man.
I ain't gonna even respond. I said I wouldn't. But look, we just went and looked up Jethro in the Hebrew. It was a Hebrew concordance and lexicon number for it. That's a Hebrew name. Jethro. That's a Hebrew name. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in there. If we see that so far, type in some nines. Y'all don't let these devils get up here on here and stray y'all away. We proving all things and we pulling everything out. Absolutely. Do not let these devils get on here and misfire and have y'all thinking differently, y'all. Exactly. It's all here. If y'all seen that, type in some nines and we'll keep it going. And look, y'all, it gets deeper. There's
plenty of nines over here.
All right, let's get it. All right, look, let's go back to it then. Let's get back to it. Now check this out. Let me move this out the way real quick. Bang, click on that where I'm at, blow that up, bang. All right, let's get it.
All right, Moses or Moshe at the mountain.
Hold on, no, this same one. All right, let me go back, make sure we ain't skipping Moses at the mountain. Oh, no, here we go. Yep, this is it. You're right, bro. I was wrong.
Moshe at the mountain, Exodus 3:1. Now Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb.
Even to who?
Horeb.
So we got the mountain of Horeb, right? Come on.
Verse 2, and the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
Now, the reason why I kept verse 2, because I wanted to show y'all, now we got Yahweh, not Yahweh El, nor not Elohim, but we just got specifically Yahweh. So we dealing with a total different scribe. Here go another scribe. And notice this scribe called the Mount Sinai Mount Horeb. Now let's go down into Exodus 19:18.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19:18. And Mount Sinai.
And Mount what?
Sinai was altogether on a smoke because Yahweh descended upon it in fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace. And the whole mount quaked greatly.
So now we got another scribe, and I'm going to show y'all why I'm saying this is another scribe. This one is still saying Yahweh, but it is calling the Mount Sinai. See that? So it shows you that different scribes did believe that his name was Yahweh. Some believe that his name was Yahweh El, and some believe that his name was Elohim. Y'all see that? Y'all see that, right? Now look, these are my notes. It says the mount in Exodus 3:1 is called Mount Horeb, right? It says note on the next one. The mount in Exodus 19:18 is called Mount Sinai, and Mount Sinai was together all on smoke. But in Genesis 3:2, it says, and he came to the mountain of God, even to Mount Horeb. My question is this: if these are the same scribes, if these are the same editors, then why is it changing so much of the Hebrew vocabulary?
Man, look, excellent question. And be real with yourself. You know what I mean? Be real with yourself. Slow down. You dig? Slow down.
Now check this out. Here go another one. The title says the instructions giving to Noah. The instructions. Did I spell that right? Look, y'all, I put this together myself, so it might be some things ain't okay. All right, the instruction given to Noah. Let's read this account. You have to be real with yourself, family. You got to be real with yourself. Let's read that, Maccabee.
Genesis 6:19, and of every living thing, and of every living thing.
I'm glad you just said that. So, and of every living thing, come on.
Of all flesh.
Of what?
All flesh.
So this is talking about all the animals, right? All right, of every living thing of all flesh, come on.
Two of every sort shall thou bring into the ark.
Oh, so hold on. So if it's every living thing of all flesh, that means whether they clean and unclean, it don't matter. They account because it's all flesh.
It's all flesh.
Okay, come on.
Shall thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female.
Come on.
Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive.
Hold on now. So we got in every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shall bring into the ark after they kind. Now let's read. So now look, y'all, this is from the Elohim source. This is from the Elohim source. Now let's go into the Yahweh source. What do the Yahweh source say in Genesis chapter 7, which is nothing but a chapter over, showing you that there are as many scribes that had their hands in the same books. Many scribes had their hands, and when I've been counting them, and as much as I've been studying, I've been seeing 7 to 10 scribes in just one book. So book of Genesis, 7 to 10 scribes. Book of Exodus, 7 to 10 scribes. But when you get to that P source, man, it's about like 20, it's about 20 scribes. Them priests was all in these deals, boy.
Yeah, it makes sense though.
Boy, them priests, man, them corrupted priests, man. Hey, they changed the whole game. You know what the priest was doing? Capitalism.
Absolutely.
They was straight doing capitalism, man. Yeah. Straight capitalism.
They was getting these sacrifices for free, right?
Straight for free.
And then selling them. At times, you know what I mean? 200% markup, boy. Boy, that's a boy. That boy, look.
$1.5 billion a year dollar industry in the temple.
Yeah.
And the temple was the bank. Don't get it twisted. And if y'all don't believe me, I will show you the book. I got a book called The Political Bible that gets deep into all the money exchanges and everything that went down in the temple. The temple was not only a sacrificing place, but it was a place, it was a library, is where you went to get all of your literature from, your historical facts from. It was a bank. It was where you went to go get your money, your exchange and everything. It was used as a meat market at sometimes. Look, that temple was the thriving place. It was where you get your education at, and it was your hospital. That temple was the thriving place. They set that up while they was in exile. They say, well, look, when we build our temple, we finna make sure we get this in. And look, ain't no other nigga finna get none of this, because if you ain't after the bloodline of Aaron, you won't get a piece of this. Don't that sound like how the Rothschilds set up the central banking system?
Man, it sound just like it.
Showing you that's the same devil we dealing with, man.
And they secured a bag for your bloodline, bro, for thousands of years.
Same thing Aharon did. Same exact thing. If y'all don't see this, y'all blind.
Man,
all right, so look, let's read this Genesis 16 one more time, and then let's read the different account.
Genesis 6:19, and of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shall thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female.
Where your keys at, real quick?
Of male and female.
Hold on, y'all, real quick, y'all. I'm gonna read it while you find your keys. It says, and of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shall thou bring. Hello. Go ahead, out.
Genesis 6:19, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female.
Come on.
Verse 20, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind.
Come on.
Of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive.
All right, now check this out. In my red, my note says, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall thou bring unto the ark. Now let's go into another scribe, and let's see his viewpoint. Let's see what he wanted to write in the scribe. Because look, sometimes they just did what the hell they wanted to do. See that? Whether it was a word of God or not, they just putting it in there. Let's see from the Yahwistic form. What did they say? Genesis chapter 7, verse 1.
Genesis 7:1. And Yahweh said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Verse 2. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7.
Hold on. We just read in Genesis chapter 6, verse 19, it says of all living flesh, 2 of every sort after its kind.
Yeah.
So now we get to Genesis 7:1. It says, and Yahweh said unto Noah, it says, come thou and all thy house unto the ark, for thee have seen righteousness before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take
to thee by 7.
Ooh, by what?
7.
Come on.
The male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by 2. The male and his female.
Now what's going on with this? Now when you read this, and once we get into the priest document, the priest went in here and put that in there because they needed to have something to sacrifice when you get to Genesis chapter 8 and 9. That's the reason why. So they said, look, we're going to have to change the number of animals, because if we have them do a sacrifice, because Yahweh never attended for sacrifice. They like, look, if we have them sacrifice in Genesis 1:19, there ain't going to be no more animals. So they had to justify the other animals. So they say, look, let's put another 5 animals on the clean one. So now take 3 by 7s, male and females, and of the beasts that are not clean by 2, male and female. This is direct conflict and contradiction.
Yeah, because verse 19 of chapter 6 say of every living thing of all flesh.
That consists of clean and unclean, right?
Yeah.
Then you get down to 7 and 2. It says, or even clean beasts, thou should take thee by 7s, male and females, and of beasts that are not clean by 2, male and female. So this is what my notes say. It says, Noah makes no sacrifice in the E document. See that? Notice in the Elohim document, Noah don't make any sacrifices. But when we keep going, Noah gonna make sacrifices, showing you that what the priest was trying to do, they didn't want to make it seem like that anybody was over the sacrifices since the beginning. Since the beginning.
Right. But look, they would have to do that.
Yeah.
You got to write yourself in the beginning, you know what I mean, to justify what you doing in present day.
Look, you know what blew my mind? I was meditating last night. I said, Aaron and they asses, they written themselves into history with these sacrifices, just like the white man did. Just come on the scene and write itself in history. Bro, that's what Aaron and them did with the sacrifices, with the temples, with all of that. They literally in exile, bro, they had a plot and plan, and they wrote themselves in history, just like the Ashkenazi Jews, them Germans, writ themselves in history, took over our land and claimed to be us, bro. Bro, that's how you know we're dealing with the same viper. We're dealing with the same serpent. We dealing with the same evil shaitan, because it's the same agenda. It's the same agenda. Now we just not dealing with no Europeans. We're not dealing with no white boys. Now we're dealing with our own people that's been doing the same exact thing.
Hebrew devils. Israelite devils.
Hebrew devils. All right, so I'm going to read my notes real quick. I said, no one ever offers up a sacrifice prior to Aharon and his bloodline in Exodus when studying the E document. And we're going to show that when we get into the E document and show how the priests went through all the different documents to set up everything for the temple and for the sacrifices, for they can start making billions of dollars a year out of the temple. All right, now look, if y'all see this, let me get up off of this real quick. All right, because we want to string y'all on the way. We want to make sure that we are all in agreement here. All the ones that is not egotistical, the ones that really see this. If y'all see this, type in some 9s. If y'all see this, type in some 9s.
Yeah, the story changed. Verse 19 in chapter 6 is all flesh bring the 2 pairs. You get down to chapter 7, now it's with the clean, bring the 7, and the unclean, you just gonna bring the pairs and all that. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's right. The priests added it for profit. That's exactly what they did. And look, I don't want to shame Moses' name, y'all, because it wasn't Moses. The more and more you study, it was Aaron. It was Aaron, the same one that set up that golden calf to Moloch when Moses was in the mountain receiving the pure Torah. And he came back down and he seen Israel stanky legging and sacrificing to a golden calf. It was Aaron the whole time. And Aaron never repented. Ain't that what it say?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't found yet where Aaron repented of what he did. Meaning he turned away from setting up idols and sacrificing and all that. You know what I mean?
And we got extra biblical resource though. Got them books that we bringing out in the origins of sacrifice. Aaron then did not only repent, but boy, hey, wait till we read this stuff. So we got 9. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We got 9s. Let's get it back going. Hold on now. Let's keep it going. It
makes sense for Jeremiah to say that the Most High said, I never spoke to your fathers.
I never did that.
Nor did I command them in the day of Egypt concerning burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Facts.
Why would Jeremiah say that? Why would Isaiah say, who requires you to tread my courts with this?
Yeah, and where the courts at?
Yeah, the temple.
The temple. So they were sacrificing to other guys and where?
Yeah.
The temple, y'all. Yeah. See, look, y'all, I see where y'all be hung up at. Y'all be like, well, that was to other gods. We know that. We not saying it was. We saying that the Israelites was thinking that they was sacrificing to God, but God never commanded them or concerned them burnt offerings nor sacrifices, so it always been to other gods. So they are going to the temple thinking that they sacrificing to Yahweh because the evil priest was back there and had them thinking that, and they was actually sacrificing to other gods in the courts, in the courthouses of Yahweh. That's what was happening. The whole time we've been serving another god. The whole time on Passover we've been serving Molech. The whole time on Passover we've been serving the god of the heaven, Azarot. For the whole time we've been serving the god Baal, sacrificing lamb and blood to the blood death god, and that's Shaitan. That's Shaitan. And you've been thinking you've been doing it for Yahweh. You've been thinking that you've been doing that because it's part of the culture, and y'all don't even know that that's not part of the culture. That shit been written in by Aharon and his sons, y'all.
Hey, look, you know what another thing makes sense? It's crazy because when you get into the pagan rituals of sacrifice, it look identical.
It
look the same. It be like, dang, ain't that in Leviticus?
Man, let me turn this camera around. Hold on,
ain't that in Leviticus? Like the one Negro in Africa. He know it's so identical. He called the sacrifices in that the same as voodoo.
Facts.
He believed that worshiping the Most High is the same as voodoo.
Now, look, have I not? Look, I done said this on record so many times, y'all. I used to be teaching in class. I said, look, if you take the word Yahweh name out of it, it's dark magic. How many times I done said that teaching? Yeah. I said, look, these things are so much like dark magic that if you take Yahweh name out of it, you couldn't even tell the difference. And this is from a person that used to study black magic. I studied all of it. I studied demonology. I studied all of it. Bro, didn't you make me throw away the books?
Y'all study, not practice.
Yeah, not practice.
And I'm like, look, it got to a point like, look, throw all that away.
I threw it away.
Yeah.
Because of Maccabee. Look, I was studying it so much, not practicing. It just blew my mind that how the enemy was working and moving, and I'm studying. I'm like, wow.
It's identical. Like everything y'all. Them priests is doing, like taking livers out and organs and taking the fat off and burning on the altar and putting blood out there and all that. But it's the same exact rituals to these dark black magic deities, these gods.
Facts.
They doing the same exact thing.
Facts. And look, you can't knock it. And this from a person that straight was studying all of that. And I finally realized why he put it on my spirit to study my enemy like that. He told me to study the enemy, so I did it. And I was like, why am I studying it like that? It got so deep, I was studying so much. Man, Malachi talk, he like, look, it's time to throw the books away. I went home, stomped on them. Me and the wives threw them out. I ripped them up and threw them out just to come full force back into the new revelation we got now. And just for me studying it, now I see why he put it on my heart to study that, because now I got all the evidence and proof that can trace these things and origins back to Aaron. Boy, ain't that beautiful how Yahweh set that up, man? Yeah, he set that up, boy. Right, he set that up. All right, come on, let's get back to it, fam. Let's get back to it. All right, let's get back to it. Let me blow this up real quick. All right, y'all. So we got y'all 9s on that. Everybody agree to that. Now let's move it on to the next one. Y'all. It's more. All right, now look, check this out, y'all. Now this one gonna blow your mind. All right, it says within the same chapter, Noah enters the ark twice. How is that possible? Let's read it. Genesis 7, verse 7.
Genesis 7:7. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood.
Now look, he went in because the waters of the flood. So if we got him going in again, that means he went out. So did they drown? Did they walk on water like Jesus? That's my question. And this is in the same verse, y'all. So when Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of what?
The waters of the flood.
So they had to shut the door because the waters was already high, y'all. They had to get in the ark, right? Now check out just a couple verses down. Let's read.
Genesis 7:13. The self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark.
There it go again. Same chapter. We got Noah going into the ark the same time. This is the same King James Version Bible. This is not two different versions mushed together. If you don't believe me, pick up your Bible and read it right now. And what do we see about this scribe? Something that's different from both scribes. And one, he didn't name Noah's family. See that? But in Genesis chapter 2 and 13, notice the scribe started naming Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth, and Noah's wives and 3 wives and sons into the ark. But in Genesis 7:7, it never named Noah's family. So now we see, look, there it go again. We got a second scribe that have more of the details than the first. Oh we. Now, if y'all see that, type in some 9s. If y'all see that, type in some 9s. If we need to read it again, type in some 9s. If y'all see that, type in some 9s, y'all. If y'all see that, type in some 9s. If y'all see that, type in some 9. Look, within the same chapter, you got 2 different scribes. Ain't that, man? Within the same, showing you that they was just mushing books together to create the Pentateuch. They was just mushing books and writings together to create the Torah and the Tanakh. They was just mushing them together. Boy. Hey, man, I'm just saying, man.
Hey, look, and we thought the whole time Moses did this.
The whole time.
You know what I mean? The whole time Moses did this, y'all. This is a refurbished working of our history that our people came out of ancient Babylon with. 'Cause don't forget, 2nd Ezra 14:21, the Torah was burnt.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean, the spirit jumps on Ezra and he starts speaking, and then his scribes start writing, but they wrote 204 books. Where them books at?
Where them books at?
Where them books at?
Where them books
your
at?
whole Bible, if you got the Apocrypha, is only 80 books. Without the Apocrypha, it's 66. You know what I mean? But the Torah is 5 books. Where 204 books at? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we ain't saying the Holy Spirit ain't jump on Ezra. We saying you ain't got what Ezra wrote.
You don't. Look, we got to come to the fact, man. The conclusion is that we've been given another Torah. We do not have that same Torah that Moses came out with. We do not have that same Torah that Moses wrote. Is we saying Moses didn't write a Torah? No, Moses did. But do we have that? No, we don't. No, we don't. And guess what? The only way to get that pure law, the only way to get them pure writings of Moses is through the first begotten son. And look, he gone. He ascended. He's ascended master now. But guess who he left behind? He left behind his apostles who he taught that pure law to. And guess what they have? They writings are still in the earth. Could you lift up some of their writings real quick, brother?
Yep,
they writings are still in the earth.
Nazarene Acts of the Apostles or the Clementine Homilies. You know what I mean? This is Peter's journal right here.
They writings are still in the earth.
You know what I mean?
And right Peter was that dude.
Yeah, he went in. He was
K5 was that dude.
He was battling Simon the sorcerer. Simon Mag is in her, all through her. You know what I mean? And Clement was documenting even to be a Nazarene is initiation into it. 6-7 year initiation period. You got to be tried, proven. At the end, you finally baptized. You know what I mean? The bishop blow. He breathed the Holy Spirit on you like Messiah breathed on the disciples. Fact. And all that. And you adjure yourself. You know what I mean? If at any moment I go against this call and may the universe be hostile toward me. You know what I mean? This right here, you know what I mean? This is Peter's journal, Nazarene Acts of the Apostles or the Recognitions of Clement. There's another one called the Clementine Homilies.
Yeah. Also,
you got the Gospel of the Holy 12, which was, look, all these first century documents older than your New Testament.
Older than the New Testament, y'all. You know, and look, you know what's crazy? They even kept the Sabbath different, y'all. Look, all the views was different.
Yeah.
All throughout the centuries, y'all. All of it. This ain't new. Camp banging ain't new. There ain't none of this new. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Nothing is new.
That's right.
They even kept, look, they kept solar. They kept the feast of light, solar. They didn't keep the feast of lunar, of darkness. Look, we have been given a different Torah, y'all. I'm just keeping it 1,000, which I know it hurt, but we have. We look, even our feast days was different. Nazarenes don't keep the same feast days as the priests. We don't. And guess who? I'm a Nazarene. I'm a Essene Nazarite.
That's
so
right.
We celebrate differently. We do. We follow after the first begotten, the Messiah. He did things differently. He taught against and abolished everything that them priests was putting up, y'all. He did. And that's why they killed him, because he was so revolutionary. He came to reform. He came to bring back the pure law of Moses. And the pure law of Moses didn't consist of sacrifice. That means he was going to hit their pockets for what, 1.5 billion a year. They had to get rid of him. He came and healed. That means you didn't have to go to the priests in the hospitals to be healed no more, the temple to be healed, because he healing people from blindness, raising the dead on the spot. That's why they hit his top. Yeah, what y'all think this was? Y'all think he just hang from the cross to die for our sins' sake? Man, look, it's deeper than all of that. Look, this is political assassination.
Yeah, that was more of a murder.
It was a straight murder, man.
A
political hit. And the prophets got politically assassinated as well. They putting bags on brothers' heads. Yeah. Look, they ain't just started putting 50 stacks on niggas' head today. Right. They've been doing that since the time of Moses.
Yeah. Yep. And the Essenes, the Nazarenes come out of the Essene movement.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they are the ones who guarded the true teachings of Moses. They was totally against every other establishment. All the priests, all the sacrifices, all the money they getting, all of it.
Facts.
You know what I mean? They was totally against what it was. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And they worked hard to keep these teachings out of the earth. You know what I mean? But they back now. They back now. You know what I mean? Shout out to all our brothers that been speaking about this for a few years. Some of them more mild-mannered than us. We gonna punch you in your mouth with this truth.
Straight up.
Right at your face with it.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? And that's what it is. And with that, y'all, it makes more sense. This is more of a revolutionary movement. You know what I mean? We're guardians of creation.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And again, you got a Torah of life and a Torah of death. Our people been mingling.
Facts.
You've been mingling life and death. You know what I mean? And when you doing that, the whole nation's sick now. Everybody's sick. Facts. You know what I mean? Everybody angry, arguing, ready to shoot each other. You know, there's all type of domestic abuse going on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like sisters been getting murdered in the truth. Where y'all think these demons coming from?
Yeah, they straight out of the same tribe, y'all.
You know what I mean? Like when sisters getting murdered and put down and all type of madness going on, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? Look, that's because you got blood in your mouth.
And on your hands.
You know what I mean? And dead carcasses in your blood, and you can't even think straight.
Maggots in your mind, tapeworms, hookworms, fluke worms, toxoplasmas, fasciolopsis, booski, all types of fluke worms. And
boy, that sounds like on Boss Baby, they got some cat named Scooter Booski.
Man, fasciolopsis booski, man, he take over your whole body. And look, guess what the Nazarites called them when they came out and you purged them? They called them demons. That's the serpent. The serpent's coming from that damn meat. All right, let's get back to it. Man, we might just have to finish part 2 tomorrow. This might be our lesson tomorrow.
It's all good.
we ain't even through all the scrolls yet, man.
Man, how have we rock? And then don't forget, y'all, we got that that origin of them sacrifices coming out.
Man.
You know what I mean? I know a lot of the Negroes is mad. Look, I don't care nothing about y'all being mad. You know what I mean? What about y'all going against the Torah? Why? Because we telling y'all to what? Put down the dead flesh and live? You know what I mean? Ain't no law that you got to eat flesh.
There is no law.
That ain't no law. What you mean?
Here go the commandments. The commandments. Let's read about these commandments. 3 different commands. And you can see where the P documents writ themselves in the commandments, because the commandments it's all sacrifice and feast. They just slipped. Look, the priest just slipped it in there. Let's read it. We're going to start with the priest document, the P document first. And P means priest. Only reason why we bringing it out like this, because we ain't want to bring out the whole entire name of this stuff until after y'all start listening. Then we're going to bring out who founded it, where it came from. We're going to trace it back 800 years. We're going to bring it up to the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, where the law, where the word was out of the earth and how these scrolls got found. I mean, look, we got it all, y'all. We got it all. We might have to break this up in pieces, y'all, because everybody was saying that 4-hour one was just way too long. So we might read a few more and then we're going to stop and we'll be right back at y'all tomorrow.
You know how I get with us, man. You know
we go all night.
Boy, we be going all night, boy, until the joke will fall out the window.
Facts.
Exodus 34.
Yep, Exodus 34, verse 4, 6, and 14 to 26, y'all. It consists of all this. Y'all can read the whole chapter on your own, but I just broke them all down, y'all. Now check this out. Check this out. Let's read
this. Right here is Exodus 34, verse 4.
No, verse 4, 6, 14 to 16.
Okay, Exodus 34, verse 4, 6, 14 through 26, right?
Yeah.
For thou shalt worship no other God, for Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God.
Now, before you keep going, what they did was they like, okay, we got to figure out how to centralize the sacrifices. We got to figure out how to just have one temple. Because before, what they were doing, y'all peep the records, y'all. Fact checked everything we saying. People were going around setting up altars everywhere and just sacrificing to God, which they was never sacrificing to Yahweh. They always been sacrificing to other gods, but they thought they have because the pens of the scribes. So what happened was they was thinking the priest had to come up with a way to centralize the sacrifices. So they literally said, man, we need to have a temple centralized where everything would come out of the temple. The food, the healing, everything would come out of the temple. So you're going to start seeing when they start writing, you can see the setup to when the temple is built. You can straight see it. Like, man, I ain't gonna lie. It was an evil but a very strategic, intelligent plot.
It was wickedly genius.
It was wickedly genius. I said, boy. So check this out, y'all. You can start right here.
All right, whose name is jealous is a jealous Elohim. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice.
Come on.
And thou take of their daughters, unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods. Thou shalt make thee no molten gods.
See that? Don't make no molten gods no more. All right? What you gonna do? You gonna bring them sacrifices to the temple. You gonna don't make no more molten gods. Don't set up no more altars. Remember, King Josiah had them go destroy all the altars. He put out a decree. He said, every altar y'all see up, go destroy that deal. We finna be bouncing. Look, we finna be getting that bag out of the temple. We finna be getting the bag out of the temple. Ain't no more you going over here and going over there and building altars. You see that? Come on with it.
Verse, well, I'm at verse
hold on, let me make
down
sure
105, right?
We still on? Check and make sure we still on.
Yeah, we still on.
All right, because that one went out. All right, let's get it.
Yep. Right here it says, the feast of unleavened bread shall thou keep 7 days. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread as I commanded thee in the time of the month of Abib. For in the month of Abib thou camest forth from Egypt. All right. All that openeth the matrix is mine, and every firstling among thy cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if thou redeem him not, then thou shalt break his neck.
Ooh, hold on. So every firstling is mine. All right. Now my question is the temple built at this time?
No, not in Exodus.
Not in Exodus. So what is happening? We starting to see plots and plans for when the temple is built. What you finna be doing with all your firstlings? What you finna be doing with all your first fruits?
That screen right there, us is black, but the other one is up.
The other one is up. Hold on, y'all. Let me fix it real quick.
Yep.
Keep reading real fast.
Right here, Exodus 34. If we can be heard, they said screen went black. We can be heard. Give us 7. We gonna go ahead and fix that real quick, y'all. It's all good. Nah, I still see that deal. That screen went black. Yeah, ain't nothing but the adversary. You know what I mean? No. We can be heard. Yeah, we can be heard 7. It's just a screen. The actual this is up. It looked like on my phone that's up. Indeed. Let me see something real quick.
I see what it is. Yeah, just keep talking. I see exactly what it is.
Okay. See if we
all this information to show. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, they say screen clear. What about Leviticus 11? Yeah, we gonna get into Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14. You know what I mean? They said we can see the slides though. We gonna get into that. You know what I mean? Y'all just be patient and deal with us. You know what I mean? Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14 is more about who you fellowship with and who you don't fellowship with. The spiritual characteristics of men. You can find that breakdown in what's called the Epistle of Barnabas. And look, and that makes sense. That make more sense. Even with Peter. Peter had a vision. Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But it was a vision. Those beasts were a vision. There you go. Those beasts were a vision about unclean men. You know what I mean? And that's what that's all about. And look, even today though, y'all, if you're getting down into it and how our forefathers had flocks, we gonna go with that narrative, right? How they being slaughtered today for corporate gain. You know what I mean? All these so-called animals are being sacrificed in these slaughterhouses that we all know are temples of Baal today. Also, the way how they are slaughtering them and how fast they are being slaughtered, just that in itself is making it unclean. And on top of that, you know what I mean, it tell you when you go to the store and grab it that it's 95% fecal matter.
Ooh-wee.
Fecal matter. Y'all look up the Japanese shit steak. It'll blow your mind. They actually are making what you think is flesh out of dung. They scraping sewers and making them. You know what I mean? So at what time do we say, you know what, let's get on back to Genesis 1:29, the eternal dietary law of the Almighty, and live. People are getting off this so-called flesh and the whole bodies are being reversed. The diseases are being reversed within weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, whether they taking herbs or not, they just getting back on the fruits and the veggies of the earth, and whole entire diseases are being reversed.
Showing you that Genesis 1:29 do what? Heals. It heals, man.
That's right.
It heals. All right, so check this out. Let's read this again, y'all. We back in full effect. We're gonna do 2 more slides and we're gonna get up out of here. We're gonna pick this same thing up tomorrow. I don't want to make these too long because I know y'all attention span. So we gonna do this one and probably one more, and then we're gonna get up out of here. We'll be right back at y'all tomorrow.
And
y'all
then let's get the email on the phone too. I text you her number to
let's do that real
to
quick.
your phone.
That's what we gonna do.
Yeah, let's get her on the phone, and you know, Ima Ahuba, we about to call you. Mosai willing, we finna call you right now. And then she went to seminary school, and based off what she said, look, they trained them up in the conflicts that are in the scriptures. She actually was trained in it. You know what I mean? So my last text message I sent you.
I got you.
Okay. Y'all, we got it's a lot of this coming out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of it that's coming out. We gonna tell you. And then look, and especially in the last days, we all know what? In the last days, we all know that knowledge has been increased. And we know that flesh is actually killing our people.
Right.
Especially in the last days, we all know what?
Shalom, shalom, Ima.
Shalom, shalom.
Could you cut us down in the background, Ima?
Oh, I sure will. Hold on.
Okay. We finna, matter of fact, we gonna hit this tomorrow. We gonna make this the last. We'll bring this stuff right back up tomorrow. Yeah, we still got all stuff to go through. So yeah. Look, it's tons and tons and tons of information, y'all. Like, it really is, y'all. I mean, like I said, if we just went through the contradictions and the conflict by itself, we'll be here, and I'm not exaggerating, we'll be here for 3 days straight. Just getting, look, and I'm just talking about, I ain't even talking about the New Testament. I'm just talking about the Old Testament. So this just shows you everything we saying is true. Now we got an Ema on the phone, a beloved Ema, and she actually went to these schools and she learned the philosophy and what they taught her. So we just want to get into that. If y'all can hear her real good, say shalom to the family, Ema.
Shalom, shalom to everybody in the chat.
If y'all can hear,
how y'all doing?
If y'all can hear Iman, type in some 9s, and then we're going to get this started. If y'all can hear Iman, we're going to leave it off at here. We're going to leave it off at that. If y'all can hear Iman, type in some 9s. That's right, Matthew Menard. Demons equals parasites.
Yep. He also say 2 gods of the Bible, family. It's a hard pill.
Yep, but you got to swallow it. There is. It's 2 gods of the Bible. We've been serving the God of death, and we've been mingling and mixing. We've been literally thinking we've been serving Yahweh and been serving the devil the whole time. Yahweh don't want our burnt offerings, and Yahweh, he's full of the fat of the rams. He don't desire it. Look, even David said, if you desired it, I would have gave you sacrifice, but you don't. So I'm going to give you praise. I'm going to give you a contrite heart. I'm going to give you a humble spirit. Yahweh did not command that, nor he never did. That's always been the line pen of the scribes. Look, falsified by the priest, who is backed by a shape-shifting demonic intelligence, y'all, which is who you call Shaitan. And it makes sense in Revelations. It says that his ass will deceive the nations, because we are all deceived. We literally think that eating meat and sacrificing meat is righteous. We think that. We have been deceived.
Hey, all while knowing it's killing you. Everybody can admit, like everybody I talk to say, hey, bro, I admit it's the best way to live and to diet, but, well, look, if you know to do good and don't do it, what is that?
James said that's sin.
That's sin unto you.
And James was the biological brother of the Messiah. He was the bishop and priest over the Nazarene and the Essenes. Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
So that means everything that came out of his mouth came from who? His brother, which is who? The ascended Messiah.
Absolutely.
People don't want to deal with them facts though. All right, let's get it. So yeah, Ema, could you tell us about you going into school and what did they teach you while you was there? What school was it? Just get into a little bit of it with the family.
Okay, the first school I went to, I got my bachelor's in biblical studies, was called Andersonville Theological Seminary out of Georgia. Mm-hmm. And it was a KJV only school, so yeah.
So this finna benefit everybody. You look, because we ain't went to only time we went to a different verse was to compare the text in Jeremiah 8:8. The whole time we have been in nothing but the King James Version, and she said it was a KJV only college, and she actually got her degrees in this. All right, so what is the stuff that they told you? Like, what did they teach you when you first got there? Like, just get into the text, textual criticism, and things like that. Would you explain to us what the teachers taught you, what the curriculum actually was, Iman?
Okay, the first thing that you do is when you get there, you get a syllabus. You know, each professor gives you a syllabus of what he's going to be teaching. Because by this being a KJV only school, you had books, but most of your teaching came straight from the scriptures. Mm-hmm. Okay, you had your of course, you had your Strong's Concordance, you had your Vine's Bible Dictionary, and let me see, it was so long ago. A few other books, the Missionary Journeys of Paul, because they were big on New Testament, you know. And what other books they had? But there was a certain group of books that everybody used. But your curriculum basically is done according to the school that you went to, according to what accreditation body they belong to. Mm-hmm. Okay, because you figure you have schools like Moody Bible Institute, and you have Dallas Theological Seminary, and Southwestern Seminary, all those other big seminaries. Most of them are under a particular accreditation body, so they have to use the same curriculum. Uh-huh. Because that's all accreditation is. They tell you, if we accreditate your school, but this is the guidelines you follow. You all have to go under this. The school I went to wasn't under their accreditation body, so they basically taught differently. And I remember Mally was asking me about a book about who wrote the Bible. Yeah. We had a book like that, but I don't think it was that one.
Okay.
So
go ahead. So did they teach you about any conflict? Did they teach you about any controversy? Did they teach you, what did they teach you about the different sects? What did they teach you about the different doctrines? Did they teach you that there was a conflict or anything like that when you was in school and you was learning these things through the curriculum?
Yeah, they knew the conflict was there. They knew the conflict was there. What they would, how they said it, they said either it was a scribal error or a translation error.
Same thing we've been saying.
Yeah, because they really didn't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? Because you could see it plain as day. You know, a lot of it, especially. All right, okay, I'll go to the New Testament since this is what, they basically focused on, because they really didn't want to deal with the Tanakh too much. Uh-huh. But when it came to Paul and James, when Paul said you are saved by grace through faith, but not of works and not of yourself, but then James said, how do you have it now?
Faith without works.
Works is dead. He said you had to earn it.
I show you faith, by my word. Mm-hmm. So, and when you ask, well, this is contradictory. They're contradicting each other. Yeah. So which one is it? And since we know just about every Christian seminary focuses on Paul.
Facts.
It was Paul who they went with. They would say, well, we're saved by grace. Everything is grace. Grace, grace, grace. Greasy grace,
Greasy grace.
So a lot of times you just like kind of scratch your head and say, okay, and you just do the work so you can get your grade.
And you know what's crazy to me, Ima? What's crazy to me is like, okay, who you gonna believe? You gonna believe a brother that he's self-appointed. You know, he never was appointed officially by the apostles. You see where you see where the bishop James sent him on his way and told him to teach a certain thing, but he didn't teach it. So it's like, okay, who you gonna believe? You gonna believe Paul, or you gonna believe James, the biological brother who's in Jerusalem of Christ, and he's actually over all the apostles? Like, are y'all gonna believe his writings, which is obviously a total conflict between him and Paul of Tarsus? I mean, obvious, especially when you get in Galatians 1 and 2. I mean, it's a total like Paul is in there straight talking about James and mad at Peter because Peter chose to stick to the teachings that James gave him, and it's like it's been there the whole time and ain't nobody been seeing it.
Right. But that's why, like today, after I went to school, I stopped using the KJV, because of all the contradictions. It didn't make sense to me. But then when you go to other translations, you have stuff in there missing.
Yes,
then you have
do.
Stuff where they don't add it.
Yes. I agree. And we've been going through all the translations and showing, like, for instance, in the Peshitta, the Eastern version, the Peshitta we got is written, translated from Aramaic to English. If you go to that book of Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 21, at the end, when you actually read it, it says, and I did not command your father to eat meat. They totally took it out in the King James version. I mean, totally. I mean, it's totally taken out. It talks about how he went against the sacrifices and he didn't believe in the sacrifices, but it totally took that part out about not eating meat. But in the Peshitta is there, and in 3 other different versions it's actually there where he say he didn't command sacrificing nor the eating of flesh.
Yeah, because I have a Aramaic copy, so yeah, I know that. And just like something else they took out, it was somebody they were discussing in the chat when it talked about Noah when the ark stopped. When everything was over, it said after a year, it was a year. And then it said after the year, when Noah came out of the ark, it actually said it was 364 days. I think you will see that in the Septuagint. It would say that. But yeah, they took out a lot. They added some stuff. They changed some stuff.
Yes.
And like you was talking about the solar calendar, I studied the calendar for a long time.
Yeah, the Enoch calendar. Yeah. That solar calendar.
The solar calendar. Yep, I studied that, and like I know a lot of people in the chat are probably getting mad now, but there was never a time that they used the moon.
Oh, no, I mean, look, it's all good, Iman. They'd be okay because look, we going off the solar one too, so they'd be okay because we not keeping the law of death anymore. We gonna go off the law of light. I'd rather do it in the solar time, like the Nazarenes and the Essenes did it, rather than go strictly solar anyway. I mean, rather go strictly lunar anyway, and it don't really make sense when you do it. When you look, what I've been noticing, Iman, it's a straight difference between what Christ was teaching and what we got. What we got in our hands and what we reading is totally different than what the Messiah was teaching the whole time.
And you know who blew the lid off the whole calendar thing? She is a Jewish professor from the Hebrew University named Dr. Elior.
Oh, Dr. Elior.
Rachel Elior. And it's called the riddle of the Jewish calendar is what she called it, because they think they hit. But but yeah, and I mean she broke that thing down, and then I went and when you pull out, if you really read about the times in the Dead Sea Scrolls, because the calendar is in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yes, it is.
You'll see it. It'll tell you when the first day of the year starts. It'll tell you when because when all the feast days start on the same day every year. Yeah. It goes around every year.
It makes sense.
Changes.
It makes sense though, because Yahweh doesn't change. It makes sense. His word doesn't change. And 65 days out of the year, it was just like a birthday. See, according to the Gregorian calendar, the way they shortening days, they longing days, you got leap year, so it changes. But if you moving off a Yahweh clock, it would have to be the same each year. It makes sense.
And here's the thing. Okay, you can call it, we'll call it the Nazarene calendar, okay, because it's Enoch calendar, the solar calendar. That calendar starts in the new year on the 4th day every single year, because that's the day the sun, the moon, and the stars were created.
Yeah.
That's when your time begins, right there. And then you count from there, and then all your days are set. All your days are set, and they never change, ever.
Yep. Nope, I agree. So, man, that's
and
deep.
Like a lot of people, you think people call you guys crazy. They've been calling me a heretic and crazy for a long time.
It comes with the job, Iman. It comes with the job. So for and on the record, before we get off this live, you did go to seminary school. Mm-hmm. You did go and you learned these things, and you was in there getting your theologian degrees, and they taught you about the conflict.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something that don't too many people know about except for my family, because when I came into the faith, I've been walking in truth now the real truth for 12 years. That's how I end up, because when I went back to get my PhD in biblical studies, I was writing my dissertation, and my dissertation was on the moral laws in the Shabbat day. Okay, because I knew that Saturday, then I knew they said Saturday was the Shabbat. And it was my thing to prove, okay, now Saturday, they say Saturday is the Shabbat, but it's gotta be Sunday. Sunday's gotta be in there somewhere. So, okay, it took me 6 months to do my research and my drafts and all that. And my proctor that I had told me, just take your time, do what you gotta do. Okay, by the time, like I said, it took 6 months to research it. By the time I got finished, I was a Sabbath keeper, because I learned about all the East, the difference between the East and the West, how the East and the West, the churches, how they split. East went one way, the West went the other way.
Yeah.
And the groups, I can't pronounce the name, but they were called Pegolini. They were all Sabbath keepers. Only the West that followed Rome did Sunday.
Yep,
but
Sunday.
Everybody else was Sabbath keepers.
And then the Rome got into the Gnostic Gospels. They ended up getting into the Gnostic teachings and stuff like that. And then the spinoff Christianity and Paul came from that. Yep, after the split. Now, the more and more we research, I'm not gonna lie, Iman, it is mind blowing. I mean, my mind be blown, because I'm like, I've been serving Satan the whole time and thought I was serving Yahweh the whole time. So like I see what it means when it said that he will deceive the nation, the world. I see it. And it's heartbreaking in that the other brothers and sisters don't see it. But this is a water drop to a wave. This is for a remnant. This is for a pure chosen Israel that's already inside of Israel. All Israel ain't Israel. So I get that everybody is not gonna get this, and the people that do, we're gonna get labeled crazy. We're gonna get labeled false prophets. We bringing in new doctrines, the doctrines of devil, everything that Paul set up. See, Paul set it up so sweet for people like the other side and not us, because he already was planning and plotting this. So now, people going to use the same thing Paul did with James and them. It's going to be a different doctrine, a wind of doctrine. They're going to be teaching you to abstain from meat, to abstain from being married. And it's like that was a whole setup, because James and them was teaching the truth, and Paul needed to start his church, and he couldn't do it with Peter and them still in the mix. And that's the reason why Paul wanted to have Peter by him so much, because Peter was very influential. So he like, if I get Peter on my side, not only that, Peter is right up under James, I probably can get some money to found my church. Because in Acts, he needed some money. He asked James for some money, and James told him no. He like, I ain't getting your money. Then he got locked up. He was mad because didn't nobody come bail him out. So you just see the whole war there. And you see the only reason why he wanted Peter in the first place, because he wanted Peter to help get him a following. But Peter was going back and forth between James and Paul. And that's the reason why when Peter got caught sitting eating with the Gentiles, when James had sent man in there unaware, he hurried him and Barnabas and the rest of the people that was following Peter, hurried up and got up and left. And Paul called him out in front of everybody. He like, hold on, you've been eating with the Gentiles the whole time, but soon as James boys come in here, you want to get up and act like you don't got nothing to do with them. He called Peter a hypocrite in front of everybody, just showing you the back and forth struggle, the back and forth battle they've been having the whole time that we just been missing.
Yeah. But anyway, I went to seminary. I got like I said, I got my BA in biblical studies. I got a master's in theology, and then I went back and got my PhD in biblical studies. So yeah.
And this is come from someone that is very experienced. This come from someone that got the PhDs and the doctrines to back up what she's saying, and she's saying the same thing that me and Maccabee been saying. You just don't know the information, but she's privy to that same knowledge. We just want to thank you, Iman, for coming on here and even giving your testimony on that. And it's just good to show that this, because we don't have PhD degrees and none of that stuff in theology or in biblical studies and none of that. So it's just good to come from somebody from that background that's been in that institute that's saying the same thing we've been saying.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's all good, Iman.
I really appreciate it.
All right, Iman, we might need you again tomorrow, so I will let you know.
I'm here.
Okay. All right, Iman, we love you, Iman. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Love y'all too.
All right, peace. Hey, so, I mean, man, that is amazing. See, everything we've been saying. So it's 11 o'clock. We went live exactly at 8:30.
Yeah, I think, right around 8:30, something like that.
So what we gonna do is we gonna finish this up tomorrow, and tomorrow we will answer questions, but we ain't gonna do it today because we already over our time. So just make sure y'all tune in tomorrow around the same time, and we gonna run through that, and then we'll answer questions tomorrow. And then after that, we coming out with the origins of the sacrifice, which will blow your mind, and then we blowing that chicken out of the water according to your law. Because we don't follow that law. We believe that was spiritual, what Barnabas said. But according to your law, if you're eating chicken, the chicken is unclean. And we bringing that out too as well. So with that being said, we love y'all indeed. And in truth, peace, love, light, and healing to the family. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. You got anything to say to the family?
Hey, man, look, y'all just, have some patience with us and, take your notes and all that, and then wait till we get done with these little series. And then if you got the spiritual fortitude to rebuke, then come on with it. You know what I mean? But understand this, what we bringing out, y'all, they talking about at Yale. They talking about at Cambridge, Oxford, you know what I mean? The J document, the P document, the E document, the D document,
and the Q document.
They all talk, look, what we talking about, y'all, is a combined 800 years of research, you know what I mean, to arrive at what we talking about this day, about this refurbished Torah that came out of Babylon or out of captivity, you know what I mean? And what came out with that was also the so-called Talmud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it makes sense now because Jeremiah 8:8, the lion pen of the scribes, right? All right, well, that had to come into play at some point.
Facts.
You know what I mean? When did it come into play?
When
did it come into play? And again, we ain't never telling y'all put the Bible down. But look, in order for you to teach the true teachings of Moshe or Moses, you should only be teaching life out of it. Anything that got to do with death, anything that has to do with a death diet, get rid of it. Let it go. And yes, we're telling you as your beloved brothers who love y'all, because we don't want to see you die early. You know what I mean? Put down the flesh, the strong drink, and put down that smoke. It's time to live. Yes, that's what we're telling you. And if that's a doctrine of the devil, because you believe what it says in 1 Timothy 4, then guess what? You're saying what we just said was sin.
Yep, you saying that Genesis 1:29 is sin.
That's what you saying. You know what I mean? When they all get done. So look, we love y'all. We want to see y'all live. Look, you need to be around for not only your grandchildren, but your great-grandchildren. Most High willing, you know what I mean? And look, if persecution come behind this, and which it already is, look,
so what?
Man, we prepare for that. That's easy work. You know what I mean? So look, Most High willing, around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and be right back on part 2 of this. And a lot of these things that we bringing out about to be in presentation form. We're putting it right up on the screen, PowerPoint platform, so you can look at it, see it. If y'all want this whole presentation, make sure y'all email me or Yaki, and we'll make sure you get it. You understand? Because look, y'all get the same information we got. You may find something we ain't see.
Right, and we can build off of that.
Yeah, all praises, glory now to the Most High.
Hey, y'all, it gets deeper. Wait till tomorrow. We ain't even been through half of this presentation, y'all. It gets deeper. We brought out the light stuff first because we ain't want people running off the chat. It gets deeper, y'all. So for those that's claiming that the Bible have not been tampered with, or that there is no contradictions or conflicts, be real with yourself, y'all. You got to, man. Look, we've been serving 2 gods. It's time to choose the God of life and light, and not darkness and death. It's time to eat life and light, and not death and maggots. All right, you can not possibly arrive to a point or know the mysteries of the kingdom to come with flesh in your mouth, blood on your tongue, and blood in your hands.
Absolutely.
With that saying, we love y'all indeed in truth. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth.
Yo.
Shalom, shalom.
Hallelujah.